It's time to elevate your finances. Introducing Ascend Checking, the new free checking account from P1FCU that pays you dividends. Earn 1.45% APY on balances up to $15,000. Plus, get online and mobile banking and mobile deposit with no minimum balance requirements. Level up your finances with Ascend Checking. To open your account, visit p1fcu.org/ascend. P1FCU, a Pacific Northwest original since 1938.
Some days, I choose the most difficult trail. I test my limits.
Taking the hard path isn't always easy, but I know it's the right way.
When I get done with my ride and I look back at what I've just accomplished, I feel amazing.
It takes courage and determination to do hard things.
But you can do them.
Quitting tobacco and vaping is possible.
You decide when. We'll show you how. Learn more at projectfilter.org or call 1-800-QUIT-NOW.
You can't make summer stand still, so make the most of every last second with a new Toyota at Toyota's National Sales Event.
During Toyota's National Sales Event, discover our wide variety of fuel-efficient electrified vehicles. Toyota, let's go places.
We're Valley-wide country store. For 100 years, we've been your #1 choice for food, fuel, farm supplies, and just about everything else you could need to get you through your day. We know you work until the job is done, and so do we. For gas on the go, or a little extra to help you get down the road, you can count on us. We are proud to employ your neighbors and to be a cornerstone of your community. We're Valley-wide. Yesterday, today, and tomorrow. We're here for you.
Vaping sucks you in quick, and the more you vape, the harder it is to quit. Not to mention all the chemicals and health problems. That's why thousands of teens are joining My Life, My Quit. Visit mylifemyquit.com or text Start My Quit to 36072.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to another Prepcast here in District 2 on IdahoSports.com. I'm in the booth tonight by the coach, as always, Jason Hansen, and I'm Garrison Hardy. Jason, it's good to be back with you, as always.
It is awesome. Paul, we showed up early. We were ready to go. We got to hear the pregame music. Juices are flowing. We're ready to go.
That's right. When we walked out of the school here at Clearwater Valley, we had 70 minutes on the clock, and now we're down to a minute and a half. It is about time to kick off, and both teams are out on the field getting warmed up and ready to go. This game is an IdahoSports.com GameStreams production of Game Night on the Palouse, presented by P1FCU. Although tonight, we're not on the Palouse, are we, Jason?
No, we're way up the river.
So we were actually
brought a paddle.
That's right. That's right. We were actually supposed to do the Thursday night game of Genesee versus Kendrick, but change plans. And as it is in this business, you just go off to the next one. And we're happy to be here to cover Lapwai versus Clearwater Valley. Two solid programs here. And, Jason, these are two programs that you and I have gotten our fair share of here in the past, really last year. Last year, I got the chance to see Clearwater Valley twice, and then you and I both got the chance to see Lapwai twice. So with Clearwater Valley, I was here when they took on Prairie. That didn't go their way. But then you and I both saw them take on Logos, and they ended up winning that one at a basketball score of 80-something to 40-something. It was in that ballpark.
That's right. Typical 8-man fashion. It was all defense.
That's right. Just stout defense there. On the Lapwai side, it was, again, Logos. And then we saw them later in the year as they took on Potlatch, two playoff teams, and that was a fun one.
Yeah, and these two teams have definitely evolved over the last couple of years, and they're really poised for this moment. They're both going to be pushing hard tonight to make a playoff run this year, just like they have the past couple.
Well, we've had our brief introductions, folks, and with that, we're going to take a quick break here because we're going to step away while we salute our nation with the national anthem. But we'll be right back here on IdahoSports.com.
It's time to elevate your finances. Introducing Ascend Checking, the new free checking account from P1FCU that pays you dividends. Earn 1.45% APY on balances up to $15,000. Plus, get online and mobile banking and mobile deposit with no minimum balance requirements. Level up your finances with Ascend Checking. To open your account, visit p1fcu.org/ascend. P1FCU, a Pacific Northwest original since 1938.
Some days, I choose the most difficult trail. I test my limits.
Taking the hard path isn't always easy, but but I know it's the right way.
When I get done with my ride and I look back at what I've just accomplished, I feel amazing.
It takes courage and determination to do hard things.
But you can do them.
Quitting tobacco and vaping is possible.
You decide when. We'll show you how. Learn more at projectfilter.org or call 1-800-QUIT-NOW.
You can't make summer stand still, so make the most of every last second with a new Toyota at Toyota's National Sales Event.
During Toyota's National Sales Event, discover our wide variety of fuel-efficient electrified vehicles. Toyota, let's go places.
We're a valley-wide country store. For 100 years, we've been your #1 choice for food, fuel, farm supplies, and just about everything else you could need to get you through your day. We know you work until the job is done, and so do we. For gas on the go, or a little extra to help you get down the road, you can count on us. We are proud to employ your neighbors and to be a cornerstone of your community. We're valley-wide. Yesterday, today, and tomorrow. We're here for you.
Vaping sucks you in quick, and the more you vape, the harder it is to quit. Not to mention all the chemicals and health problems. That's why thousands of teens are joining My Life, My Quit. Visit mylifemyquit.com or
Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to IdahoSports.com. Again, Garrison Hardy and Jason Hansen in the booth for you tonight here in District 2 as we get ready to watch the Lapwai Wildcats, the visiting Lapwai Wildcats, taking on the Clearwater Valley Rams. And so Jason and I are excited to bring you tonight's action. And as we mentioned before, we took a quick break for the national anthem. Jason and I are accustomed to watching these two teams. And last year, we got to see Clearwater Valley twice. I did at least. I got to see them take on Prairie, in which they lost that game 48-14. But then moving on, we also saw them against Logos put up 82 points. And so, Jason, this is a team that has some good tradition, and this is a team who likes to lay the lumber and play physical football.
Yeah, they have a lot of dudes on their roster right now, and they're ready to go tonight, that's for sure. They've been jacked up, and it's homecoming here in Kuski.
So last year, it was kind of a mixed bag. You know, they started the season 0-3, then they picked up that win at Logos, and then they fall to 1-5. Then they're able to pick up a couple wins before ultimately falling to Lapwai 58-6. So maybe some revenge on their minds tonight.
Yeah, Coach Hutchins has really developed the roster, and I think they battled through some injuries that maybe the media and everything didn't really know about while it was happening. But his guys are really excited about tonight, and they've really kind of spit and polished. They're 2-1 heading into tonight's game. They beat up on Glens Ferry earlier in a game 20-12. Then they played Logos in a shootout, like we just talked about. A lot of defense here, 68-58. And then notice they fell behind 42-6, and then eventually they battled to a 62-22. So Coach Hutchins has got to make sure that his guys get off the on the right step here, and you don't want to fall behind Lapwai simply because last week, or 2 weeks ago rather, because they just had a bye week, they put up 82. So they're accustomed to putting up some points too, so you got to get out of the gates quickly.
Yeah, and so seeing as we brought up Lapwai, let's go ahead and talk about them. You know, last year they had an excellent campaign. They opened with a loss to Oakley, an excellent Oakley program, mind you, that's got championship aspirations almost on an annual basis. They lost by 20 to that one, but then they just hummed through the schedule, moving to, they start out 1-0, 2-0, 3-0, 4-0. They fall to Prairie, 4-1. Then 5-1, 6-1, 7-1, 8-1, and then finally they fall to Raft River come playoff time to finish what was an excellent campaign. And this current Lapwai squad, they lost some of those star athletes that got them to that record, but they still got some talent over there.
Yeah, Coach Layton always talks about we're just reloading. We don't have to rebuild anything. They always have a couple of guys waiting in the wings, and probably get to see some of those guys tonight. Special teams, play here, play there. And Coach has got his guys rocking and rolling. They lost to Kamei in a nail-biter early on, week 1. Talk about a tough matchup right out of the gate. They lost 34-28. But they felt like they just kind of let a couple things slip away. It was like you said, they replaced a number of new pieces, and they played really well. And then The next week they played Timberline, and like we just mentioned a moment ago, 82-18. And it's one of those where they definitely kind of flex their offensive muscle. They took a break before this one, and so they should be rested up and ready to go.
So Lapwai sits at 1-1, and then on the other side, Clearwater Valley at 2-1. So this right here is kind of a big game when it comes to momentum going forward. We've talked about both teams overall. Now let's talk about both rosters and some players to keep an eye on. Let's go ahead and, since I see you're looking at the Lapwai roster, why don't we start with Lapwai? Jason, who are some guys that catch your eye, and who are some guys that the fans at home should be keeping an eye on?
Well, just like the guys on TV, let's go ahead and start with the quarterback. Terrell Ellenwood-Jones is going to be somebody we need to keep an eye on. He just replaced Titus Year out from last year, and he was the paper, or somebody called him Lamar Jackson simply because of the fact that he had 245 yards in the air, and he had 124 on the ground. So he was pretty much doing a little bit of everything. And so one of those where we're going to see him run, going to see him throw. He may even throw it up and catch it himself. And we have Herschel Williamson at running back position, and then Ellenwood-Jones' favorite target is going to be Elias Year out. And so we're going to see going to get to see some offense going, and it's going to be interesting to see how they handle things on defense.
Now, we just saw the captains go out there and meet, so we're getting ready here for kickoff. On the other side, let's look at the Clearwater Valley Rams. Jason, who are some guys the fans at home should keep an eye out from the Rams?
Well, for quarterback, it's going to be Louis Fabi. Quarterback, he's been there a number of years, and his center is Anthony Carter, and he's been the Austin Curtis, same initials, wrong spot. Austin Curtis has been his center all 3 years. He's been the center, or the quarterback rather. Bass Myers is going to be the guy who gets the ball. Everybody in the stadium knows that, and we're going to get a peek at that right off the bat.
Right off the bat, indeed. As back deep to receive for the Rams, number 2, Tiago Pickering. And number 3, Carson Schilling, also back there with him as kind of a mid-up man. Up in front of him is number 12, Bass Myers, as Jason mentioned, set to kick for the Wildcats. I can't see his number, but I'm sure it's going to be a good one.
That's right. Looks like he's going to be a little directional here. He's kind of getting his eyeballs set exactly where he wants to go. Probably going to be the far corner.
And looks like he's going to take this straight on. So Lapwai sends it away, and we are underway here in Clearwater Valley as this is taken inside the 15. And a solid return here up past the 30. And the Rams will start things off at the 33-yard line. Again, that was a solid return from the likes of Tiago Pickering.
Yeah, nice kickoff, and everybody stayed in their lanes and got their yardage out to about the 23-yard line and 34-yard line. Yep, carry the 10 minus the J. Anyways, it's one of those where I'm excited. We're going to see Bass Myers carry the ball right off the bat.
So Lapwai looks like they're going to come out with 2 down linemen, and then 2 outside linebackers, and then it's just man-to-man over the top, as is custom with 8-man football. Clearwater Valley comes out in their traditional I formation look. And they're going to hand it right up the middle to Bass Myers right away, and he's brought down quickly. And that was a very short gain, if any at all.
Yeah, I like the strategy here. Go to your strength, show them what you got right off the bat, and Lapwai was ready for it and denied very many yards at all.
Guys, we got beautiful weather here tonight out in Kuski. Crystal clear, great conditions, perfect night for some Friday night lights. Again, I-formation look here, 2nd and 9, we'll call it. And they take the snap. They go right back to Myers once again, who bounces off a tackle, gets to the outside, lowers the shoulder, and dives forward. And that right there could be good enough for a first. We'll see where they spot it, and they do. They move the chains.
Well, that's what we just mentioned. One of those where you want to go to your strength first, test the waters. Even though Lapwai knew it was coming, they weren't ready for it.
So fresh set of downs here for the Rams as they are on the move. And the Wildcats will regroup themselves here. Again, 2 down linemen, 2 outside linebackers on the edge rushers. And man-to-man over the top. They're going to pitch it to the far side here as Myers, as he tries to get to the outside. Good contain from the Wildcats. And they rally and bring him down again. No gain, really, on first down, but that didn't stop him on the first set of downs.
Yeah, that's true, but nice job. Coach Layton's got to be excited about the pursuit. 8 hats to the ball. They know where the ball was going, and they tried to get to the outside, and they rallied up quick, like you mentioned. stopped him at the edge and caught him on the inside.
And coming out of the game there is number 2, Tiago Pickering, and number 42, that is Lincoln Barger, makes his way into the game, the freshman. It's a freshman D lineman and tight end mix. And thus far, it's been all Bass Myers on the ground. We'll see what they come up with here for 2nd and 10. Same exact formation on both sides. Fabi under center. Takes the snap, and he's going to pass this time, throws it deep over the top, and it's incomplete. That was close right there. His intended target was number 3, Carson Schilling, the sophomore receiver.
Nice job. Coach Hutchins is going to the counter to all that run play. Set up that pass. He was wide open, but unfortunately it landed in the grass. The defenders were right there saying, the grass got it, the grass got it. So. And now we've come up to our first important 3rd down.
That's going to be 3rd and 9, so a long conversion attempt here for the Rams, and that makes it easier to guess what's coming when you're on the Lapwai side of things. So again, an I formation look. We'll see if this is a play action or if they try to run it on the ground. Fabi. He's going to hand it off to Myers, who's got an opening down the left side, and he's brought down, but not before a first down.
Bass Myers for a first down. Clearwater Valley Rams.
Nice job with the power run. This time it was more of a counter that you could see the line just kind of open up there with the pulling guard, and they were able to catch him with a little misdirection.
And coming back into the game is number 2, Tiago Pickering, replacing number 42. That's Lincoln Barger. And a big conversion there, certainly not what the Wildcats were expecting, and it caught him off guard for a 1st and 10. High formation look, once again, Fabi under center. Fabi takes the snap. He's going to hand it to the fullback this time as he powers right up the middle for a short gain. Brought down by one of the linebackers there on the 2nd level. That was number 4 from Lapwai. That was
Herschel Williamson.
There you go.
We just spotlighted him as a running back. Now all of a sudden he comes in at the linebacker spot. And I like what Coach is doing here where he's hitting him with a power. Now we're going to hit him with a fullback, which we hadn't even mentioned his name before now.
So it's going to be 2nd and 8 after a 2nd and 7, we'll call it, a pickup of 3. Fabi under center, takes the snap. And this time he's going to keep it himself, and he just has to eat it and go down. No, that would have been a sack for number 5, Quentin Kipp.
That's great pursuit. Just kind of fought off the tight end left on his route, and that pretty much cleared a path for the defensive end of the quarterback, and he was willing to oblige and sack him quick.
So Clearwater Valley was on schedule before that play, and now they're way back. It's going to be 3rd and 15. Ball spotted at the 46-yard line. Man-to-man coverage over the top from the Wildcats, and they're showing pressure from the sides. Fabi surveys the defense, takes the snap. They're going to pitch it to the far side. Myers tries to get to the outside, can't do it, could contain, and he's brought down. The Wildcats get their stop. That was number 7, Dylan White.
Yeah, nice job out there. We just mentioned they tried to probe that outside edge over there, and he came up and filled it. And again, the Lapwai's got to be happy about all the guys getting to the ball. It's just not one guy trying to make the tackle. It's several guys. And it looks like we're going to see a punt here.
Yeah, the Wildcat is normally a solitary hunter, so it's kind of a surprise to see. No, just kidding. So back deep to receive for the Wildcats. That looks like it is number 2, and that's going to be Marquisio Noriega.
Well, and with the formation, they're not 100% sure if this is a kind of an oddball offensive formation or it's an actual punt.
And Noriega's kind of like, what do you guys want me to do? It's going to be 4th and 18. And there's a flag. So it looks like some confusion on Clearwater Valley's side, so they're going to back them up there. Delay of game is the call. And so that really what they were trying to do there, they just want more room to punt, Jason.
Yeah, that's right. See what kind of leg he's got. But all of that shifting around helps the defense in that case because clock is always going to be on the offense to figure out what's going on.
We got 6:43 left here in the first quarter. And there's the punt. It's going to be end over end. And it's going to take a Clearwater Valley roll and come to rest at about the 25-yard line. So Lapwai gets the stop right there. And we want to take a moment to thank some of our sponsors here. Storm Electric has been serving the Palouse and Camas Prairie region since 1938, providing electrical wiring for all sizes of projects, electrical motor repair, and well pump installations. Storm Electric is licensed and insured in Washington, Idaho, and Montana. When it's time to renovate your home, business, or to install a well water pump system, call them at 208-835-2331. Storm Electric, strong supporters of local high school sports. And with that, the Wildcats are ready to go, and here we're off. And they take the snap. They're going to run this one right up the middle after a convoy of Wildcats, and that's going to pick up 5 or 6 yards there. Good start here. That was number 23 on the carry. That was Elias Yearout.
Yeah, we had kind of penciled him in as a receiver, but this time he essentially got the direct snap and again, kind of doing some different formations with their run game and keeping the CV Rams on their heels. 2nd and 5. Shotgun set here for the Wildcats with a bit of a hatchback in the backfield. They're going to hand this one off to the middle, and they've got to the far side, and he cut it back inside. That was number 4, Herschel Williamson. Well, we had highlighted Bass Myers getting the load of the carries, and this time Herschel Williamson was able to do some heavy damage as well. And so it's going to be an interesting game to see which running back has the legs for 4 strong quarters.
So 1st and 10 after the big run from Herschel Williams. And they're going to fake the handoff right back to him and try to get to the outside on the read option. Good contain thus far from the Rams, but he's able to make something out of it, and that was an excellent carry from number 9, Terrell Ellenwood-Jones.
Yeah, quarterback just kind of bows out there. CV wasn't able to do it, but this time he was able to get into the backfield a little deeper, and the defense kind of came up in pursuit, and that allowed him to get down the sideline and pick up a nice big gain.
So it's going to be a 2nd and 8 after the excellent run there from Jones. And good downfield blocking to boot. Ball spotted at the 45-yard line. Clearwater Valley, 2 down linemen. Linebackers over the top. This one's going to be a pass. And they're going to go the short route, and it's incomplete. The intended target was Dylan White.
Yeah, and I think White would have liked to have that one back. He was thinking about what he was going to do with it next. He was wide open. It was a great play call by Layton. And he had somebody out in the flat and just, gosh darn it, flipped right off of his fingers. And now we got it their first important 3rd down.
Yep, this could be a big momentum play right here for the Rams if they get a stop or even better, a loss of yards. 3rd and 2, a ball on the 45-yard line. The crowd is making some noise here, the hometown Rams fans. Jones takes the snap, hands it off to Williamson, and he's brought down after a 1st down carry. We're going to see a healthy dose of Williamson tonight, aren't we?
Yes, I believe so. And he gets that ball and he heads north-south. Coach said that in the preseason that he liked his guy because he didn't really want to do 15 moves. He just wanted to get north-south, and he picks up all those yards and gets that nice 1st down.
And as we always say, great things come in small packages. 1st and 10, ball spotted at the 37-yard line. A pass from Jones over the top, and that one's caught. And they're going to be out of bounds inside the 25-yard line. Mark him the 20-yard line. Another 1st down for the Wildcats.
Yeah, nice play call right there. That again was Dylan White. We saw him drop the last one. This one he grabs it and he does just what he was thinking about doing the last time. And that play was open, and it might be open again if they want to go back to it.
And it's our first red zone visit of the night for the Wildcats, as they're going to set up shop 1st and 10, ball on the 20-yard line. They still can get another 1st down here as Jones takes the snap, rolls to his left. He's got White out there, but he's covered. Jones is going to keep looking. He's going to keep it himself. Tries to get some positive yardage, and he does. He gets close to that 1st down marker. We'll see where they spot this.
Boy, Ellenwood-Jones, just nice job of just relaxing back there, sees the pressure, just uses his speed to get outside of it, and it's tough on those defenders, especially the DNs, when you come up and try and get some quarterback pressure, and all of a sudden he gets outside of you, and then he picks up those yards on the outside where you were supposed to be.
So 2nd and 1 after the carry, 9-yard gain. And this time they're going to number 23. He's going to keep it himself. He's being dragged down from behind, and he's brought down, but it does look like he got the 1st yard carry there, but that was number 23, Elias Yearout.
Yeah, Coach Layton does a nice job of using his different positions and different guys in different spots to be able to keep the ball in their playmakers' hands, and that time Yearout just blasts for the first down, and boy, he was scratching to the goal line himself.
And now it's going to be 1st and goal for the Wildcats as they continue to march down the field. Shotgun set here with Jones in the gun. And he's going to roll to his left. He's got a convoy of blockers in front of him, gets it out to the outside, and he's brought down short of the goal line. Good throw and catch there for the Wildcats as they are pushing close to the goal line.
Yeah, and that was White again, just kind of leaking out from his hatchback spot like you talked about, where he just kind of leaks out. It looks a little bit like a delayed screen, and everybody goes with the flow or heads to the quarterback, and he's wide open in the middle.
Let's see if this is a bend, don't break situation here for the Rams as they would like to get a stop. 2nd and goal. They go right up the middle to Williamson, who punches it in for the end zone, and that's a touchdown for the Wildcats.
Yeah, like we said, he's heading north and south. He may not be a big dude, but he plays like a giant.
The Wildcats draw first blood on the night, and Herschel Walker would be proud, let me tell you. So we'll see what the call is here from the sidelines as the Wildcats get set for the 2-point conversion, as is customary. And Jones in the gun. Williamson, who just punched it in for 6, next to him. Jones lofts it over the top into the corner. And it's good. The 2-point conversion is tacked on. And an excellent start for Lapwai.
Yeah, and Ellenwood Jones was just tricking out the cameraman. Was he going to run for it? I better stay on him. He's going to loft it. I better go to the ball. And hopefully that one showed up because it was a nice play. Again, he's just stretching that play out, causing a lot of pressure on the outside linebackers and outside DNs. You have to get pursuit on him. You have to respect him as a runner first, but then he's just going to lob it over your head if you don't get where you're supposed to be.
Tough position to be for the defense, and we want to thank Syringa Hospital and Clinics as a proud supporter of Ram football. Our highest priority is keeping every student healthy and safe so they continue to shine athletically and academically. Syringa provides quality health care right at home, where Rams have access to sports physicals, physical therapy, MRI, CT, X-ray scans, and much more. Check first with Syringa to get the quality care you need with people who care about your success. Syringa Hospital and Clinics, 208-983-1700, dedicated to providing you the quality health care experience you deserve. Well, thank you to our frontline workers for sponsoring tonight's game.
I think that kicker is Leland Whitefoot, who might
no, that's right foot.
That's right. That's right. Might be doing quite a bit of work tonight if they keep this up on offense.
And here's the kick. Let's see where they send this one. They're going to send this one down the right side. So a directional kick, and that is a flag as it just went out of bounds before it went into the end zone. That would have been perfect. Yep, that is correct. Number 65, Leland Whitefoot with the kick, and that was a really good kick for a defensive lineman.
It was, and really one of those where if he just straightens it out, last one was almost north-south. This time it kind of took too much of an angle, but if he, like you said, if he can just angle it just a little bit less, that thing might be ending up in the end zone. It looks like CV might be forcing him to kick it again, so we might see him do a little more work.
And back deep to receive, or at least in receiving territory for the Rams. That's number 3, Carson Schilling, a wide receiver, sophomore. And then back deep is number 2, Tiago Pickering. On the near side is number 12, that's Bass Myers, who's been the workhorse thus far for the Rams. So, yep, they're going to back him up 5 yards and go ahead and have him kick it again. Now, Jason, the Rams had some stuff, got a couple of first downs on that first drive, so definitely some stuff to build on.
Yeah, and some of their play action just didn't hit. Coach Layton's crew was able to execute some of that fullback leak out stuff with Dylan White just a little bit better, so there's a lot of stuff they can build on from their first drive.
So once again, Lightfoot set to kick things off, and this one's in the same direction, and it's going to be out of bounds. And we'll see what the call is on this one as far as what the Rams want them to do.
Well, and every time you push them back, you get 5 more yards on the spot if you want it to be at the 35, the 40. And so you could keep pushing them back until They're at their goal line essentially, and it's really one of those. Like you mentioned, Pickering did a nice job on his first return. Now they're going to counter with, okay, we're going to keep pushing you back to have to kick to him, because if he did well from his goal line, imagine what happens when he picks it up on the 20.
Yep, Pickering has his feet just inside the 20-yard line, and then his up men are up at the 40-yard line, so they're already 10 yards closer to the end zone. And we'll see what Lightfoot does with this one. Third time's the charm, folks, as he boots this one into the Kuski night sky, and this one's taken inside the 25. Pickering is looking for a hole. He finds it. And he's brought down by a host of Wildcats. Actually, Lightfoot with the tackle brings Pickering down. So maybe he felt like he had to make up for that 10-yard penalty.
Well, yeah, and you had mentioned that he was a kicking defensive lineman, but maybe he might be a defensive lineman who kicks.
There you go. He does kind of kick it straight toe, which is not something you're normally seeing these days. But nonetheless, Clearwater Valley takes over, ball spotted at the 45-yard line. Great field position with 3 minutes and 7 seconds to go here in quarter number 1. Trailing 8-0 after Lapwai punched it in on that last one with the excellent run there from Herschel Williamson. Under the gun is, under center is number 7, Louis Fabi, who takes the snap and hands it off to Myers, who stiff arms a tackler, dodges another, and he finally is pushed out of bounds close to the first down sticks. Pass Myers. What a carry.
And on their first possession, that was their best play, which was that counter trap play where the guard is going to pull. It's a little bit slow developing, and Lapwai was closer this time, but they were able to pick up a nice gain here and get Bass Myers the look he needed, and almost got it down the sidelines with it.
So Myers picks up 8 on that carry. 2nd and 2 coming up here. Ball spotted at the Lapwai 46-yard line. Fabi hands it up the middle to the fullback, who's got a hole, and he gets to the second level, and he's spun down. An excellent carry from Anthony Carter.
Well, and that's a nice job again. Carter just kind of the counter to all of that. Everybody has their eyes on Myers. They just stung him with the counter. This time they just gave it to him, and he gets the first down.
1st and 10 now. Ball is spotted at the 40-yard line in Lapwai territory. So Clearwater Valley, again, they're moving the ball. Let's see what they can do on this drive, as it looks like they're coming out in a shotgun set. First time on the night. 2 wide receivers in the set, 1 back in the backfield. That is number 22, Anthony Carter, in the backfield. Fabi, back to pass. He's going to keep it himself. Steps up into the pocket. Gets out of the pocket. He's in the open. He's got a first down and more. Anthony Fabi, rather. Sorry, that was Louis Fabi. I went back to his brother there, who played in years past, and he's got a big run there.
Yeah, he did a nice job. Well, and you just mentioned the fact that, running back, and then all of a sudden he himself does some nice damage. And so don't forget about him next time when they need to get a first down.
Louis, my apologies. It's going to be a 1st and 10. Ball spotted at the 21-yard line. First red zone appearance for the Rams tonight. Back-to-back for both teams. Fabi in the gun. 3 linemen blocking. Now we've got a hatchback, so a 4 lineman line for the Rams. And then pressure on the outside from the Wildcats. They're going to fake the sweep, and Fabi keeps it himself. And he could go. He does. Touchdown Rams.
Nice job by Coach Hutchins, breaking tendencies. One of those where they must have set that up on film from weeks past. Like you mentioned, that was the first or second time we've seen it tonight. But Lapwai was keying up on some stuff that we weren't ready for as far as running backs. And so nice job by Fabi, just going ahead and take it for a ride.
And that he does, to the tune of a 21-yard touchdown keeper. With 2:14 to go here in the first quarter, the Rams, they have a chance to tie it up, and they come out with a spread-out formation, 4 wide receivers in the set, Fabi alone in the gun. And the Wildcats are spread out across the entire formation with 3 down linemen to match. And Fabi, he could maybe just take this up the middle.
Right, no
and
linebacker.
He does. Gets away from a tackler, and he's brought down. What a play by that defensive line from the Wildcats.
Yeah, just like you had mentioned, they had no linebackers in the set. Every gap was filled. The offensive line looked like they were going to get a nice push initially, but that would have been number 23, Elias Uraut at the defensive line spot. What? And then you also saw Marquisio Noriega come up and make a tackle at the same time. So again, it's going to be a game of extra points, I think, where we got a nice game going on here with 2:14 left in the first quarter. All this running stuff really erases some time.
That's right.
But this is exactly what we thought we were going to come up here and see.
Yep, it's just like that, folks. 2:14 left in the first quarter. So this game is going to be this could be a quick one here at this rate. And take me through the pacing of the game, Jason, because Lapwai, they've got some better athletes. But on the other side, Clearwater Valley, they're controlling the tempo of this game.
They really are, and it's one of those where coaches harp all the time in the summer, preseason, about doing one more extra wind sprints for nights like tonight. This is going to be a separation night where you're either going to be in the thick of it or you're going to be maybe on the outside looking in. So a night like this, doing all those wind sprints 6 weeks ago is going to help out with some of that conditioning. Not just one or two guys. Everybody's got to be there.
Clearwater Valley set to kick off here from the 40-yard line. Fabi, he's going to be doing kicking duties as well. He was just doing touchdown duty on the other side. And back deep to receive for the Wildcats. That is number 23, Elias Uraut, the dangerous speedster. And Fabi looks like he's lined up to keep it away from him. As a former kicker myself, it doesn't look like he wants to kick it anywhere near him, and he does. He's just going to pooch this right down the middle, and it goes out of bounds. We'll see a game of chess here, potentially. Are the Wildcats going to make them re-kick it?
It's going to be a game of chess or checkers. What the heck are we going to see here? Well, like you mentioned, the two teams respect each other's return games, and so you're not really going to want Uraut to get an extra touch. And so you're going to try and chip away with a certain kick to try and respect him, just like Lapwai had done on their turn.
Well, on the flip side, I mean, you look at the other options to kick it to back there. You've got number 4, Herschel Williamson, who just scored his first TD of the night. And then on the other side, you got the dangerous Dylan White, number 7. So athlete, just a team of speedsters. It's not good any way you slice it for the Rams.
Yeah, totally. Pick your poison. But there is a lot of empty grass out there in 8-man, so if maybe you could get it behind the front line, maybe you could do some damage.
And it looks like they try to do that as they kick it right in the middle of all the returners, but Elias Uraut gets his hands on it. And he gets this one out past the 40. Excellent coverage there from the Rams as they were down there, lickety-split to bring him down.
Yeah, it's always such a head-scratcher when it comes to 8-man kicking games because we play on the full-size field like Montana and some of those states that don't. But, it keeps you invested in all three phases of the game. Everybody harps about offense and defense, but special teams might win it tonight. One of these is going to go. I'm calling it right now.
You heard it here first from Jason Hansen, the coach, ladies and gentlemen. If he gets it wrong, send your complaints to Paul. 1st and 10 here for the Wildcats. Ball spotted at the 44, mark at the 43-yard line as a sub comes in. That looks like number 12. That is Layson Morrill coming in from the sideline. Pressure being shown from the Rams as Williamson gets smashed in the backfield. What a tackle. That was number 4, Isaac Goodwin.
Yeah, a little bit of a 4 versus 4 here. Which one's going to win? Williamson, the running back, is number 4, and the tackler was number 4. Nice job there by the defensive line just coming in and smashing him.
So that is a loss of 1 on the play after the excellent push up front from the Rams defensive line. 2nd and 11. Jones keeps it himself. He's got to run for his life here. Gets around to the outside. He cuts it back, and he's tripped up and brought down. Excellent pursuit from the Rams.
Well, I was just going to say, with Jones, that's Joe, and he gets all, stretches that defense, puts a lot of pressure on these defensive ends, and then the defensive end on the far side set the edge and was able to make the tackle. So that's a nice job by him. That defensive line is really starting to ball out right here. They're going to need it in this 3rd and long.
And just like Jason mentioned, 3rd and 15, we'll call it. Just under a minute to go here in quarter number 1. Lapwai 8, Clearwater Valley 6. And this could be a big stop here for the Rams and force a potential punt. And there's some energy here from the home crowd tonight as they're getting loud for 3rd down. Motion from Dylan White out of the backfield. Jones keeps it, and he's brought down again!
Assisted by Bass Myers, but taken down by Isaac Goodwin.
So Goodwin and Myers, we just called their names on first and second down. Then they show up on third down together. Coach Layton was sending some routes deep, trying to get all that territory back, but he gives them the kick sign here on 4th and long. We're under a minute now, 12 seconds, 10 seconds, and they might just be waiting on this to go to the quarter.
And it looks like they're going to do just that as we are under 2 seconds now. And ladies and gentlemen, that is quarter number 1 live from Kuski, Idaho. We've got ourselves a ball game. The Lapwai Wildcats lead 8-6 over the Clearwater Valley Rams. We're going to take a short break here and thank some of our major sponsors, but we'll be right back here from Kuski, Idaho.
It's time to elevate your finances. Introducing Ascend Checking, the new free checking account from P1FCU that pays you dividends. Earn 1.45% APY on balances up to $15,000. Plus, get online and mobile banking and mobile deposit with no minimum balance requirements. Level up your finances with Ascend Checking. To open your account, visit p1fcu.org/ascend. P1FCU, a Pacific Northwest original since 1938.
Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to Kuski, Idaho, home of the Clearwater Valley Rams, as they are playing host to the Lapwai Wildcats. And Jason, man, that first quarter went by quick. Both teams are running the ball effectively, and next thing you know, we're in the second quarter.
Yeah, and it's everything we were hoping for. We got some good special teams with the kickoff games. We have some good defense. We just saw that show up real quick. And then both teams scored, which is going to put a lot of pressure on those extra point plays. Lapwai was able to get theirs, and CV wasn't able to get theirs. So it's going to be one of those where one of those is going to break here in just a minute.
8-6 the score. Lapwai is looking at a 4th and long. Yeah, I mean, very long. The first down sticks is in Rams territory. But they're going to go for it. Jones looking. He's got a corner out to Elias. You're out. He catches it. And he did not pick it up. But nonetheless, that was an excellent play.
Yeah, and that's Coach Layton over there he had said punt earlier. Must have got over there. The guys are like, no, we don't want to punt, Coach. Come on. And, nice play call, but they were just a little bit short. Good job by the Rams using that down and distance. They got everything but 2 yards, but they needed those 2 yards. So now we're probably going to get a heavy dose of Bassmeyer to start, but we saw some Fabi doing a nice job of running the ball.
That we did, and he was the one who got into the end zone for the Rams on that last drive with a 21-yard quarterback keeper. We'll see what the Rams come up with here. 1st and 10, ball on the 49-yard line, right at about midfield. The Wildcats come out with 2 down linemen, 2 outside rushers, and man-to-man coverage over the top. Fabi hands it off to, guess who, Myers. He gets to the second level, and he nearly gets the first down rush, but he was brought down after a pickup of 8.
Well, and there was that counter trap play again. We talked about it with the pulling guard. This time, Lapwai was ready. Coach has been yelling about it, but he was able to bounce off those tacklers and power his way to a nice gain. Now the field is going to be to the bottom of the screen, so there's going to be a lot of open space over here. It'll be interesting to see what they do. Last time the quarterback ran this way, so it'll be interesting to see if they do the same thing.
So it's going to be 2nd and 3, we'll call it, after a pickup of 7. Ball is spotted at the 42-yard line for the Rams as they are already back in Wildcat territory. And they're talking about it in the backfield. Just want to make sure they're all on the same page. You've got the duo of number 22, Anthony Carter, and then number 12, Bass Myers. And they fake it to both of them, looking over the top. He's got to get rid of it, and it's caught by Carter, who gets into the second level. He's brought down inside, close to the 20-yard line.
Well, that essentially is the counter pass play to that. So So they showed the run play on it. They just got stung on it. This time they flipped it over. Like you said, the running backs and the offensive line were both trying to make sure that they were all on the page they were supposed to be, and almost had to delay a game. Coach Layton is saying, okay, I've seen enough. I want to get things back on the right page, because I think Lapwai just called timeout.
Yep, we do have a timeout here with 10:38 to go here in the second quarter. And my goodness, this has been a barn burner thus far. Both teams throwing punches and counter punches to one another. Jason, what are you looking for as we are in the red zone once again for Clearwater Valley? What's some things that maybe Lapwai can do to stifle them? And then what's Clearwater Valley looking to do here?
Well, I'm not sure that Lapwai had a solid answer for when they kind of came out in that ace look, or when the receivers were spread out and the quarterback was Bobby was able to just kind of run. And so I think I might try and use that again. If they can't figure it out, then go back to that. And I think Coach Layton over there, he was pretty relaxed before the game, and he knows this is a marathon, so don't use up all your energy on one play. But you got to make sure you use some wisdom from what's happened before. So I'm sure he's getting his guys back on the right page and just keeping everybody contained. We saw them kind of contain and rally to the ball early in the game, and they've kind of started to get maybe a little too aggressive, and so they may fall back to that now.
So 1st and 10, ball is spotted at the 21-yard line, so the Rams still can't get another first down before it's going to be 1st and goal. I formation look once again for the Rams. Pressure being shown by the Wildcats. They know what's coming. Can they stop it? And they go back to Myers. Myers lowers the shoulder, dragging a defender with him, and he's finally brought down. But, hey, that first line of defense did what they needed to. They grabbed him and held him there so his teammates could come and finish the job.
And heck with that spread him out stuff. Just go back to Myers, who's going to be their workhorse. Like you said earlier in the game, it's going to be one of those where everybody getting to the ball and getting him down quick, because you don't want him to rip through that arm tackle and do more damage. And so, like you said, the Wildcats need to hunt in packs tonight, even if they're solo normally.
So it's going to be 2nd and 7 after a pickup of 3 from Myers. Wildcats hoping to keep his carries to that level. Fabi under center once again, but he goes back to confirm with his 2 backs in the backfield. Pressure being shown from the edges once again from the Wildcats. And they're going to go up the middle to Carter, who drags the linemen with him for a pickup of, we'll call it 3 or 4.
Normally it's unorthodox for your guys to be kind of whispering moments before the play like that, but I think it's a good idea to just make sure you guys are all on the same page, and CV knows that this is an important drive right here. They're down 2, they need a score, and Lapwai is thinking bend, don't break.
3rd and 4. Ball is spotted inside, we'll call it the 25-yard line. And they go to Myers, but he's stuffed in the backfield. What a play there, and what a push from that Wildcats front.
Well, and we talked about the defensive line from CV this time. It looked like Quentin Kipp and that needs to be highlighted. I'm going to go, it's not Lightfoot, is it? The kicker on the far side?
He did make the tackle previous that.
Huh?
Mm-hmm.
Just like we talked about. All of a sudden, he's working his way into the whole thing because he followed his guard just like a defensive lineman should do. Here's a 4th down. We better highlight that.
4th and 6. This could be a big stop here for the Wildcats in the red zone. And for the Rams, this could change momentum. Fabi takes the snap. It's a corner route. It's to the end zone, and it's just out of reach. Incomplete. The intended target was number 3, Carson Schilling.
And that's that bend, don't break. Leland, we talked about him as a kicker. We kind of laughed it off a little bit, but now he's right out there in the thick of it as far as the defense, making important tackles on that 3rd down, which forced him to throw, which is a little bit outside of who they are. And so now it's Lapwai's ball. They got a long way to go, but they got 8 minutes to do it. And it's going to be one of those where they are going to want to also have a little bit of a clock chewer upper kind of drive.
Well, they got 8:19 to chew through here and plenty of field and green in front of them to do it. Back to pass is Jones. Jones throws it over the top, and it's incomplete. The intended target was number 7, Dylan White.
Yeah, that's that same play we've seen a number of times hit. This time the defense was right where they needed to be. The pursuit to the quarterback was just about the same, but the coverage was way better.
So 2nd and 10 there after the incompletion to White. And the clock stops. Look at that. 8:12 left here in the second quarter. It's been a quick game thus far for those of you just tuning in, as both these teams have been successful running the ball on the ground, and as a result, the clock keeps moving. So the Wildcats come out this time with an ace look. And they go to Williamson right up the middle, and he is brought down after a solid pickup there of 4 or 5 yards.
Yeah, and that's what Coach likes the most. North and south, it puts them in a much better position. It's 3rd and long for sure, but it's definitely one of those where they got some positive yards, and the defense had to come up and make that tackle.
That's going to be 3rd and 8.
Now he's got those linebackers coming up. It'll be interesting to see if they do some play action off of that. Give them something similar to look at, and then maybe throw it over behind the linebackers.
Ball spotted at the 20-yard line. Jones in the gun. He's got Williamson in the backfield with him. And he goes to Williamson up the middle, and the Rams stuff it.
Brought down by David Davis.
So a conservative call there, but the Rams see it coming.
Yeah, and the defensive line, the interior line from, for an 8-man game, all of a sudden the defensive line showed up, and that was number 75, David Davis, right there, the junior offensive line, defensive lineman, making the big tackle. Last time they went for it on 4th down in a similar situation here, and it was a lot more yards, so be interesting to see if they just go right back to that play. It wasn't covered very well.
So 4th and 6 here. Jones, he's going to do a quarterback punt, and this one's end over end, and it's going to go out of bounds inside the 45-yard line. Oh, correction, they're going to spot this all the way down past the 50.
Will they have the walk back until the ball left the playing surface?
And they spot it just at the 45-yard line, like I called it. I'm a genius, folks. And, folks, we also want to thank our power boosters for tonight's game. We got Cloninger Foods and Kamei and Syringa Hospital. And also for Lapwai Nimipu Fund. Thank you to our power boosters here for tonight's game and helping us bring tonight's action to you.
Yeah, and it's great action. CV's offense was able to move the ball, get chunks at a time, but they were denied the end zones. Lapwai's going to want to do the same thing and maybe tighten up that defensive line just a little bit themselves.
So once again, they're in the backfield talking this over, and that's they've got Carter and Meyer in the backfield and Fabi under center. 2 down linemen for the Wildcats, 2 outside rushers. And Fabi keeps it himself. He tries to get to the outside, but excellent containment there from the Wildcats. That was number 5, Quentin Kipp.
Yeah, Kipp doing a nice job at his defensive end spot right there. Everybody went to Myers just like we were talking about. It's going to be a running back, and he wasn't tricked. He was able to corral the quarterback by himself and keep it to a short gain.
So it's going to be 2nd and 8 there after a pickup of 2 from, that was number 7, Fabi. On the quarterback rollout. Another I formation look here for the Rams. Same exact formation for the Wildcats with 4 secondary players over the top. And they go to Myers once again, who finds a hole and a big hit from Elias Yearout. So Myers earned every yard there.
Yeah, that's lower than the boom right there. Kind of got him from a direction. And a lot of emotion on that play. Important 3rd down coming up.
It's going to be 3rd and 4, we'll call it. Ball's going to be spotted at the 37-yard line here. So once again in Wildcat territory, although the punt never got it out of Wildcat territory. I formation look. Fabi under center. And they go right up the middle to Carter, who's into the 2nd level. And he's brought down inside the 25-yard line with a big 1st down.
Well, and again, keeping them off balance by just hitting them a little bit with that the fullback when they're not ready for it. The game within the game, there's 5 minutes and 14 seconds left. They've got to get points out of this possession because who knows how many more times they get it before halftime, and Lapwai gets it at halftime.
In 1st and 10, so the game within the game. 5 minutes to go here before halftime. Man, this is just not normal for Jason and I. Have been following gunslingers, throwing the ball left and right, which leads to a long game. First and 10 here. And they hand it off the middle to Myers once again, who's looking for a hole, but it is gummed up. He's staying on his feet, but it was blown dead after forward progress.
Yeah, once they blasted it back, they blew it dead. That was Laricki George Smith right there leading the way from his defensive line spot. Like you said, just kind of blew him right back, and the referees want to make sure that everybody stays safe and blew it dead.
2nd and 9 after a 1-yard pickup from Myers. Again, ball inside the 25-yard line. Another red zone opportunity for the Rams. And they keep it with Fabi. And he's able to pick up solid yards there. And that's going to make this 3rd down much more manageable.
Yeah, these like we mentioned, well-coached teams, you have to get a little bit off script. We haven't seen Fabi do that this game this way, and so he gets a nice gain here. You think they go back to the bell cow, Myers?
I mean, at 3rd and 5, that seems to be his territory right there.
In your back pocket, you do know they're going to go for it on 4th down because nobody seems to kick anything.
So that's right. At 3.5 minutes to go here before halftime. 3rd and 5. Big stop here, potential for the Wildcats. And they hand it to Myers. Who else? Who busts through the middle. Bringing Wildcats with him. Touchdown, Rams! What a run from Bess Myers!
And that's why you go back to the bell cow. He just powers north-south. We talked that with Herschel Williamson from Lapwai. This time he does the same thing, kind of twists, turns, blows right through those arm tackles, and they get to pay dirt. Now they got to get that extra point. They're down an extra point from before, so they got to play a little catch-up because they're down. They're ahead 4. They need the 2 for 6.
So it's 12-8 with that score. This would make it 14-8 if they're able to punch it in here. Fabi in the gun.
Last time we saw this, it was a run up the middle.
4 wide receivers in the set, and it looks like the Wildcats are keeping an eye on that run. Fabi takes the snap. He's got to step up into the pocket, and he's brought down by that blitz. The Wildcats were not messing around there.
Yeah, that's exactly what you got to do with that. You just got to corral it. If you're not going to throw the rock out there to the screen, which is, he probably saw it at the line of scrimmage. If I can just get past a couple of these guys, I'm going to be in. So, again, more drama added to the game. We love it.
And so we want to thank another one of our sponsors, 5 Star Forestry, is a professional forestry company that has been serving the Washington, Idaho, Oregon, and Montana area for over 16 years. Founded in 2005, their primary services include tree planting, tree thinning, and fuel reduction. 5 Star Forestry specializes in urban interface fire protection by creating a defensible space between the forest and your home. 5 Star Forestry is licensed and bonded and offers wealth of experience and expertise at an affordable price. Find out more by calling Mike at 866-679-5372 or hit them up online at www.5starforestry.com. And hey, as we're in fire season, that's sort of an important service.
Well, and as we just talked to the guy who's doing the local announcements up here, the fact that he's a fire crewman. So, hats off to those guys. We oftentimes, with the EMS and military, we always want to recognize them, but we also need to be thinking about our Forest Service guys. You were mentioning last year this time that there was a whole bunch of fires going on. So, thank heavens everybody's out there keeping us safe, and we appreciate their work.
Absolutely.
Speaking of work, this kickoff's going to be a little work because last time it was a cat and mouse game as to do we kick it deep or kick it out of bounds.
And we've got a new kicker this time as well. That's number 23, Josh Gardner, set to kick things off, and we'll see where he sends this one. And it's kind of a pooch right down the middle, and Elias Yearout's going to get the chance to do something here. He looks for a block, tries to get to the outside with excellent tackle. That was number 24, Jake Fabi.
Yeah, and he just kind of one of those where he had to scoop it from down on his shoe tops, and as he was scooping it up, he was bearing down right there and got a nice tackle. And so that means that Lapwai has 3 minutes and 7 seconds on this possession. Again, they get the ball after halftime. They're down by 4. Coach Layton has probably got several different tricks in his pocket to use right here.
1st and 10 now. Ball spotted at the 33-yard line here for the Wildcats on the near hash. And they're going to come out in kind of that power formation, but it's split off to the right side of the formation as Jones is going to roll that way. He's got a blocker down front, but he's got Williamson in the flat. And Williamson out past midfield and brought down at the 45-yard line. Big first down play right away for the Wildcats.
Yep, they're not afraid of hitting it up in the air. We talked about how most of the time we see gunslingers. I can imagine Coach Layton thinking, well, let's just go ahead and air it out. That way when the ball stops if it's an incomplete and those kinds of things. The CV defense adjusted. We have been seeing that 4-2 look. This time they kind of dropped somebody back as a safety, and so they were prepared for the pass, but the ball was right where it needed to be.
1st and 10 now after the big pickup through the air. And they're out past at the 45-yard line. Jones takes the snap, and they go right back to the ground. That's number 7, Dylan White, he's showing some moves here, and he's brought down after a pickup of 7 or 8 yards.
Yeah, I was looking down to try and see which defender was going to catch him in the hole, and he was having none of that. He just powered his way through and did a nice job of getting himself a nice big gain right there.
2nd and 3 after the carry from White. Under 2 minutes to go here before halftime. It's going to be interesting to see how they play this time-wise. Once again, Jones in the gun. White kind of playing a hatchback role here. And they're going to roll that direction. Jones has to go back the other direction, being pursued by Myers. He's able to get out of the pocket. Jones inside the 20, 15, and brought down, but there is a flag, my guess, blocking the back.
Yeah, but that's the danger of all that heavy pursuit is exactly what the D-line coach is hoping for. But at the same time, Ellenwood Jones is just thinking, okay, well, now I'll just pick you off one at a time and pick up 30 or 40 yards at the top. Ooh, they wave it off, which means that gain stands.
The flag has been waved off, so there is no block in the back. Huge run from Ellenwood Jones, and now the Wildcats find themselves in the red zone with 1:30 to go. And counting.
He was tackled inbounds, so the clock will run.
At this time, I'd like to mention some of our sponsors.
1:20 and counting as the Wildcats make their way to the line of scrimmage. They're going to come out in that same exact formation they've been using here with the power focus to the left side of the formation, near side of your screen. Jones was under center. He takes the snap, hands it off up the middle, and that's a touchdown. Wildcats punching in, and that was Dylan White on the ground, and they reclaim the lead.
When we've seen White come out in different formations and be the receiver, this time they just hand it to him, and he, again, picks his way right through there. Good hard sledding north and south and powers his way in, gets that lead. And now Lapwai's thinking, okay, extra point, what the heck are they going to come back to? We saw them throw it on the last one, didn't we?
We did. 14-12 now the score here. We'll see what their call is this time. And this would give them a 4-point advantage with 1:03 before half. Jones in the gun. Takes the snap, rolls to his right. And he has to run back the other way. Excellent pursuit from the Rams. And the 2-point conversion fails. Both teams are having their struggles with the 2-point conversion.
Well, and who would know that defense would show up here a couple of times with Anthony Carter and Bass Myers getting him down from the sack on the extra point. So you got to love all phases of the game are showing up. Defensive coaches are loving it. It's a good, close game. Kicking team has to make sure that they run down there and make a tackle. Last time we saw them have their struggles on kickoff where they poked it out of bounds about 4 times in a row and gave them quite a few yards. So it's going to be interesting to see how they play this, whether it be another deep kick from Whitefoot, number 65. He has a big leg. He just wasn't able to find the goal line and make it land on the 20.
So 1:03 to go here when the kick is coming. And folks, we just want to say, brought to you by our major advertising partners, Project Filter, Valley-Wide Cooperative, the Idaho Transportation Department, which, by the way, they now sponsor our IdahoSports.com player of the game. And the Department of Health and Welfare, the Idaho Department of Health and Welfare, Next Steps Idaho, and your local Toyota dealers. Well, let's go places. But yeah, stay tuned. The Idaho Department of the Idaho Transportation Department is now our sponsor of the IdahoSports.com player of the game. And now set to kick. The Wildcats got it teed up at the 40-yard line. We'll see where Lightfoot sends it right down the middle, squib kick, and that's picked up by Tiago Pickering, who's at the 40. Out past the 45, and he's brought down at the 45. It's shoestring tackle there by number 12, Layson Morrill.
Well, and we've seen Pickering be the deep man. This time they kind of adjusted their return game, so he was able to snag that, pick it up a little bit earlier than maybe Lapwai wanted to, and get almost to midfield. They have less than a minute to work with, and they have to score because Lapwai gets the ball again at halftime. So they have the lead, and they'll get the ball at halftime. So I'm sure Coach Hutchins is thinking, okay, let's get a big, nice gain here. Last time we saw them, they did a little bit of a play-action pass.
It's going to be 54 seconds left here before halftime. I formation. Fabi takes the snap, play-action pass, just like Jason mentioned, but it's a fumble! Ball goes free, and Fabi's able to get back on top of it. But my goodness, what a play there, and good persistence from number 5, Quentin Kipp.
Yeah, that was a nice job by the defensive line, man. They almost had that poked, and they were thinking scoop and score. CV's just happy to have that one back.
30 seconds to go and counting. They're going to call a timeout here as Clearwater.
I kind of was anticipating Lapwai to call their own timeout to try and force them to maybe punt, but.
Now, this is an interesting game of chess or checkers, whatever you want to call it here, Jason.
Backgammon.
There you go. For Clearwater, their main strength is obviously on the ground. So 30 seconds left with a lot of green in front of them. Maybe not their moment of strength. That being said, they've had their moments in the passing game, and Fabi, he's escapable on his feet. So maybe they make something happen here.
Yeah, I would think that they have to have a couple of power run plays for this kind of moment. Maybe a draw, quarterback draw, maybe kind of spread him out a little bit. Keeps the ball in his hands, so that way he can kind of make his moves. We've seen him be successful because you're not going to want to give the ball back to Lapwai, like I mentioned, because the fact that you have, if you give it back too quick, they might be able to do something with it here. So I think either A, hand it to your bell cow, he just scored already anyway, Bass Myers, or spread him out and try with Fabi on a little bit of a quarterback draw.
So 30 seconds left. Let's see what the call is here.
And Lapwai's thinking just rally up and tackle, and if you can, poke the ball away and see if you can't come up with it.
It's going to be second and very long. First down to gain is in Lapwai territory at the 45-yard line, and the Rams find themselves inside the 30. Shotgun set. Myers goes in motion. They're going to hand it to him. It's a double reverse. They go back the other direction. This one is Pickering, who gets into the second level. Good block from Fabi, but Pickering is ultimately brought down just inside the 45-yard line. So nearly the original line to gain, but there's a flag in the backfield, and it's holding.
And the old holding play.
That's always tough to deal with, Jason, when the ball is going at numerous different directions in one play as a lineman.
That's right. Well, and you hope to just rally up and be right. And a lot of times if a defensive lineman can get there at the right time, he can maybe cause a fumble, which we've seen. I think you said Quentin Kipp caused one just moments ago. So if they can do that, they can flip the field and get the ball back with just a smidge left before halftime.
16 seconds, just over 16 seconds left here just before halftime. 14-12 in favor of the Wildcats of Lapwai.
Well, and this will cause the ball. It's a spot foul, 10 yards from the spot. So that'll push them back more. They get to keep the second down, but it'll definitely put them in a lot worse position.
That is right. They're looking at second and a mile here. They're spotted just outside the 10-yard line, call it the 13. The line to gain is the 45-yard line in Lapwai territory. Fabi deep downfield. He's going to throw a Hail Mary. And it's almost caught, and there's pass interference is the call. What a throw from Fabi, and they could have caught that one. The intended target was number 3, Carson Schilling.
That'll be interesting to see what they do as far as the spot. It isn't necessarily a spot foul. You do get a first down.
We'll see what the refs decide here. 3 seconds left on the clock. So if they're able to spot this past midfield, we could have something interesting. And folks, by the way, you can tune in, just check out IdahoSports.com. We've got the Friday Night Flash up and running. And right now, Lewiston, well, the score isn't up with their game against Pendleton, but Jason and I will be covering Lewiston plenty this season.
So skip the first down thing. I don't know who said that. I think it was feedback from the. It's going to be second down. You get the yardage. It's still second down. And like you said, it's going to be one of those where there's 3 seconds left. I think Coach Hutchins is thinking, let's just get out of the half at this point. Lapwai is probably thinking maybe rip and strip. If there's a defensive foul, then obviously we'll stay in this half. But I think Coach is probably just thinking, let's just get to halftime, and it's homecoming, so you have all those festivities and emotions and everything as well. But for the most part, I think they're just thinking, let's just get out of this half.
That's right, and the coaches are discussing this with their players, but Jason, a game that fans at home may want to check out is Oakley and Raft River. 20-18 in the third quarter, Oakley leads.
That's always a good game. It doesn't matter what time of year, and a lot of times it's going to be a rematch later in the playoffs sometime.
And hey, they're not even in our district, and I think that's a cool game. So, again, IdahoSports.com, we've got the Friday Night Flash up and running, so feel free to check that out, again, on IdahoSports.com. So refs are talking it over, and the Wildcats are making their way back onto the field, and it looks like the refs are indeed just going to have this be spotted at the 28-yard line, we'll call it. So a little bit more green in front of the Rams than they were hoping.
Yeah, well, and a lot of guys like myself watch a lot of NFL and NCAA, and the rules are different on those pass interference plays.
This is true. Shotgun set for the Rams, 3 seconds left. Prevent defense from the Wildcats. Fabi. He's got time. He's looking. He's got targets downfield. The clock has sounded. And he's just going to have to keep it and do something here as Elias Yearout is pursuing him. And he brings him down out of bounds. And that is the end of the first half. With the score, the Lapwai Wildcats 14 and the hometown Clearwater Valley Rams 12. It's been excellent football thus far.
And it has been. And I was just going to highlight real quick right there. Fabi gets out of bounds and gets tackled, but Yearout out there being a good sport just lifts him up. And it's one of those where the emotions are running high. They know that it's going to be a close game, and obviously they've been battling tough. But both teams are being good sports about it, and they want to make sure that they get the most out of this experience.
Indeed. And folks, it's homecoming night here in Kuski, home of the Clearwater Valley Rams. So homecoming on the docket. We're going to let them do their thing here for a bit, but we'll be right back to talk about, Jason and I, what we saw in the first half and more. So stay tuned. We'll be right back here on IdahoSports.com.
It's time to elevate your finances. Introducing Ascend Checking, the new free checking account from P1FCU that pays you dividends. Earn 1.45% APY on balances up to $15,000. Plus, get online and mobile banking and mobile deposit with no minimum balance requirements. Level up your finances with Ascend Checking. To open your account, visit p1fcu.org/ascend. P1FCU, a Pacific Northwest original since 1938.
Some days, I choose the most difficult trail. I test my limits.
Taking the hard path isn't always easy, but I know it's the right way.
When I get done with my ride and I look back at what I've just accomplished, I feel amazing.
It takes courage and determination to do hard things.
But you can do them.
Quitting tobacco and vaping is possible.
You decide when. We'll show you how. Learn more at projectfilter.org or call 1-800-QUIT-NOW.
You can't make summer stand still, so make the most of every last second with a new Toyota at Toyota's National Sales Event.
During Toyota's National Sales Event, discover our wide variety of fuel-efficient electrified vehicles. Toyota, let's go places.
We're a valley-wide country store. For 100 years, we've been your #1 choice for food, fuel, farm supplies, and just about everything else you could need to get you through your day. We know you work until the job is done, and so do we. For gas on the go, or a little extra to help you get down the road, you can count on us. We are proud to employ your neighbors and to be a cornerstone of your community. We're valley-wide. Yesterday, today, and tomorrow. We're here for you.
Vaping sucks you in quick, and the more you vape, the harder it is to quit. Not to mention all the chemicals and health problems. That's why thousands of teens are joining My Life, My Quit. Visit mylifemyquit.com or text Start My Quit to 36072.
Oh, we're back. Good thing we're not live or anything. Well, you want to come back? Sure. Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, here on IdahoSports.com. You're looking live at Kuski, Idaho, here in District 2, as the Clearwater Valley Rams currently trail the Lapwai Wildcats by a score of 14-12. We don't have the scoreboard up right now because, I mean, hey, it's homecoming night, and this is quite the procession here going on for the Rams. They take this thing seriously, Jason.
They do. I'm not sure who's left in town, if you want to know quite certain. And the cars that we're seeing, we saw four-wheel drive, jacked up Monte Carlos, and now we got some old 1960s, 1970s cars. I mean, this is all right.
That is it. This is quite the procession. I'm impressed. So, and there we go. We have some of the football players here are the escorts for their dates here at homecoming. Good for them. But Jason, we had quite a solid first half of football here in Kuski, where again Lapwai leads 14-12 over Clearwater Valley. We've got an excellent second half upcoming here, but let's go ahead and talk about what we saw in the first half. As far as the scoring is concerned, Lapwai started things off first. They stopped Clearwater Valley on their opening drive, got the ball, drove it the length of the field with an impressive drive, ending with what I believe was a touchdown throw to Dylan White.
Yeah,
it was a run to Herschel Williamson. Run up the middle, Herschel Williamson.
Yep.
We're with it, folks.
Well, and I was just going to say that I was anticipating this to be just an air war, like just a scoreboard's going to be lit up, and pretty soon all of a sudden defense showed up. And so everybody had to scratch and claw, and both defenses have done a nice job of taking away what they do best and really making them to go to some other things. And so it's really one of those where both teams have done a nice job of keeping the defenses honest on offense.
Right. And so after the touchdown from Williamson there, the Rams responded with quite an impressive drive that spanned almost the length of the field. It took probably a whole quarter off of the clock, and they punched it in with a 21-yard quarterback scamper from their quarterback Louis Fabi, but they weren't able to get the 2-point conversion, which is kind of how it stands right now. So that's the difference there. And then moving on, it took just before halftime, really. The Rams punching it again. This time, we have something that caught me off guard here.
Yeah.
We got some explosions in front of us, too. This is quite the procession. In any case, the Rams punching in, go up 12-8, and then we just saw Lapwai score right before halftime to make it 14-12.
Yeah, and the players we've highlighted, the running backs, Williamson and Bass Myers, have done a nice job carrying the ball forward, north and south, as well as Dylan White from Lapwai. He's done a nice job, too, when he filled in. And then the quarterbacks have done an outstanding job. Lapwai's quarterback, Terrell Ellenwood Jones, doing a nice job of managing, and then all of a sudden kicking it into gear and stinging him a little bit with his legs. And then that would mean Louis Fabi did a nice job also. So, again, the kicking games, the fact that nobody wants to kick deep to the other team's return people, has kind of changed the scope of things a little bit, because that's kind of some hidden yards, because now all of a sudden, instead of kicking it deep as you can and maybe getting it at the 20 or 25, all of a sudden now teams are getting it at the midfield with these offenses, and now it could easily spring one of them. I called it in the first half. I still think one of them is going to get to the house on just getting some blocks and getting through some of those arm tackles.
Again, you heard it here first, folks. Jason said he's expecting a kick return. So, again, big second half coming for us here. And before we talk about what we're expecting in the second half, I want to thank some more of our sponsors here. Folks, this is brought to you by our major advertising partners. This is a Project Filter, Valley-wide cooperative, the Idaho Transportation Department, which, by the way, they are now the new sponsors of our IdahoSports.com Player of the Game. Jason and I will have that for you later. The Idaho Department of Health and Welfare, Next Steps Idaho, and your local Toyota dealers. Make the memories last just a lifetime by owning the digital game file of this game for just $9.95. Click the button in the top right corner to order. Follow the IdahoSports.com on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram. Get updates, breaking news, pictures, and more. Click the icon in the top left to follow. And hey, always entertaining and occasionally controversial. What? The IdahoSports.com Prepcast. Cover every inch of Idaho, hosted by Brandon Bainey. Each Prepcast features one of our in-house experts, like Jason and I, talking about what's going on in your part of the state. Just go to IdahoSports.com and click Prepcast in the menu to get caught up on what you've been missing. And last but not least, game picks. Did you get your gridiron game picks in this week? Well, don't worry if you didn't. Compete every week against other high school sports fans and the so-called experts at IdahoSports.com for free. Win weekly prizes and the chance to be crowned the regular season picks champ. Again, it's okay if you start now, because weekly winners get $25 if you're the regular season grand champ, and you win $100, and a $250 donation will be given in your name to your favorite Idaho high school athletic program. Best of all, it's free to play. So what are you waiting for? Head on over to IdahoSports.com. Unless you're already watching this game stream, then hey, you're already on IdahoSports.com, and don't leave.
Well,
do that later.
They're going to watch to see who wins the homecoming.
Oh, that's right. No, we don't have just football tonight. We've got the homecoming king and queen being crowned right before our eyes. Big stuff here. We predicted this before kickoff. No, I'm kidding. We didn't. But nonetheless, great TV. Now, Jason, you've got the Friday Night Flash over there. You're scrolling up and down. What are some scores around the state of Idaho that jump out to you?
Well, I was just going to say that Friday Night Flash is a great place to go, kind of like one of those big-time places that you check your college scores and NFL scores, because you can get everything you want. There's a little tab for the 5As, the 3As, the 2As. I was just kind of scrolling through here, checking to see what's going on up north. Lakeland 10, Coeur d'Alene 140 according to this. I bet it's 14, but after the Genesee score, you never know.
I just got a text here. Hold on. It says 14-13 CDA leads at half.
Okay. So
140.
Yeah, there we go. So in the 5As up north, Coeur d'Alene battling one of the stronger 4A schools in the 4A. You have Emmett versus Skyview, which is an interesting one. But if we get down to the 1As, where these folks are probably watching, you have Notice over Salmon River, 61-8, which was one of the teams that CV had just played. In the fourth quarter, Oakley over Raft River by 10 now. So that one's kind of pulling away. And then in the lower level, a lot of them haven't been submitted yet. But, again, that Notice score, the CV fans would know that was a team that CV had lost to last week. So that might be something they keep an eye on.
And so there is your Friday Night Flash here on IdahoSports.com. Now, Jason, we kind of did a first half recap here. Again, it's 14-12. Let me go ahead and get that scoreboard back up for you folks at home. In favor of Lapwai. And it has been a back-and-forth affair. So, as we look forward to the next half, what are some things that, let's start with Lapwai since they're in the lead. What are some things that Lapwai can do to ensure that they hang on to this win?
Well, it's one of those where they didn't have homecoming. As much as it's fun and it's great, we are 7 minutes away from kickoff. plus 3 minutes. And as a head football coach, that stuff I know it's important, but as a head football coach, it just drives you crazy because this is where your dudes are. So they don't have to deal with that. Conditioning, you had mentioned earlier that this is going to be a lot of great athletes making big plays, and the weather's perfect for that because it's cooled off just a smidge, but it's going to be one of those where the conditioning, so hopefully they've popped their hats off, they got the shoulder pads off, doing the Gatorade because it's a little bit longer halftime, getting everybody all focused back up. Getting some tendencies, that would have been my third thing. Keep them off balance. You have to make sure that Lapwai can come out with a couple of things that they have in their pocket ready. We've seen those right before half. And then you have to make sure the things that you've been stung by with the counterplay and with the fullback blast through the middle, that you get those things corrected at halftime. And they were able to get inside and kind of get those things corrected as the CV kids are just leaving the field now with 6 minutes left before halftime.
6 minutes before halftime. So that's Lapwai's side of things. How about Clearwater Valley? They did some excellent things on offense. Really the only thing separating that 2-point conversion and their inefficiency to punch it in for that 2 points on 2 occasions now.
Yeah, I think Coach Hutchins has probably got to be thinking, okay, once we get focused, make sure you get the shoulder pads off because, again, they've been out here with their hats on or shoulder pads on, rather, so, get some fluids in you, get a snack in you. You got to make sure that you are highlighting what they like to do. All of a sudden, Dylan White shows up and starts stinging them both in the air and on the ground, so they got to get that corrected. I liked how Hutchins' guys were making sure pre-snap that they were on the same page. Even though it was a little unorthodox where the linemen are kind of talking to each other and the backs are talking to each other, they did a nice job of executing those plays that they had called. And so I think making sure you get that confidence going. And they're right in this thing, like you said, that it's a 2-point ball game. And as far as the league standings are concerned, there's about 3 or 4 guys or 3 or 4 teams that are going to make it to the playoffs. These 2 could easily be them. And it's not a one-and-done situation, so you got to make sure your guys keep battling to the very end.
And as you mentioned, the conference standings and the playoff potential here of this 1A D1, the White Pine League. It's a very powerful league, and last year it certainly showcased that with a lot of teams making it into the playoffs. As we look at the standings right now, Kamei is top of the league with a 2-0 record in conference, 2-1 overall. Prairie also 2-0 after getting thumped by Oakley to start the season, but they've righted the ship, and it's business as usual on the Prairie. Clearwater Valley here tonight, 1-0 in conference, 2-1 overall, and Lapwai a few spots down below them at 0-1 in conference, but 1-1 overall. This right here could certainly flip the switch.
Yeah, especially because Kamei is playing non-league and Prairie has a bye. If CV wins this game, that means that they're tied for first place as well. So that puts them right in the thick of things. And Lapwai could help correct their first week mistake. They had lost by 6 to Kamei earlier in the year. They're 1-1, like you said. It looks like they're near the bottom, but we haven't played very many. But that puts them near the top of that pile of the second level, which means that they could battle themselves right back into the top tier. And again, the playoff battle is that you get a first-round bye for your number 1 team, plus everybody else is seeded based on your RPI rating, essentially through max preps.
That's right. And so that is the playoff standings, or conference standings, as it were. We understand it's early in the season right now. A lot's going to happen, but something to keep an eye on. And you can find all of this stuff on IdahoSports.com.
We're getting ready to go.
That's right. With just over 3 minutes to go, here come the Clearwater Valley Rams as they make their way back onto the field. And there's some energy in this crowd. There's a kid getting tossed up in the air on camera. This is great TV right here. Well, folks, while we got a sec, again, we want to thank the sponsors of tonight's game who have been generous enough to support the teams here tonight. We want to thank the professional sales staff at Perfection Tire in Kamei. They're eagerly waiting to provide you incredible service and the latest automotive products available. Perfection Tire can take care of all your tire needs and more, including brakes, shocks, struts, tune-ups, and oil changes, alignments, and more. If nothing's wrong with your car or truck now, bring it in and we will help it keep it that way with our 30-60-90 preventative maintenance program. Stop in and see Dallas or Jerry at Perfection Tire in Kamei at 107 East 3rd Street. You can also give them a call at 208-935-2999 or go online at www.perfectiontire.com. Perfection Tire proudly supports Clearwater Valley Athletics, and Jason and I passed it on the way in. We also, want to thank Storm Electric. They've been serving the Palouse and Camas Prairie region since 1938, providing electrical wiring for all sizes of projects, electrical motor repair, and well pump installations. Storm Electric is licensed and insured in Washington, Idaho, Montana. When it's time to renovate your home, business, or install a well water pump system, call them at 208-835-2331. Storm Electric, strong supporters of local high school sports. So, again, thank you to those sponsors who are supporting high school athletics here in District 2. And both teams are now on the field getting warmed up. Folks, we'll go ahead and park it right here. We've got just over a minute and a half before we're ready to go. We'll be right back here on IdahoSports.com.
It's time to elevate your finances. Introducing Ascend Checking, the new free checking account from P1FCU that pays you dividends. Earn 1.45% APY on balances up to $15,000. Plus, get online and mobile banking and mobile deposit with no minimum balance requirements. Level up your finances with Ascend Checking. To open your account, visit p1fcu.org/ascend. P1FCU, a Pacific Northwest original since 1938.
You can't make summer stand still, so make the most of every last second with a new Toyota at Toyota's National Sales Event.
During Toyota's National Sales Event, discover our wide variety of fuel-efficient electrified vehicles. Toyota, let's go places.
It can be a lot, trying to figure out how to make it, how to dream big, and to wonder, what if? Because no matter where you are in life, if you don't know what's possible in Idaho, it's hard to keep asking, what if? Which is exactly why Next Steps Idaho was created, with everything from smart tools that help you figure out careers you might be suited for, to training and education options for you. So keep asking what if at nextsteps.idaho.gov.
Some days, I choose the most difficult trail.
There we go. Yeah, looks better. Try zooming in a little bit just to make sure. Yeah, that looks better.
Tough because nobody was.
Right. Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, here to Kuski, Idaho, here in District 2, as we are at Clearwater Valley, hosting the Lapwai Wildcats, and we have got a barn burner for you. The clock just struck 0. It's time for the second half as both teams make their way onto the field. Jason, you excited?
I'm super excited, especially about all these bugs.
Yeah.
The kickoff team from, they just had their instructions from the sideline from CV. They have to get the ball to Lapwai. I wonder if there's maybe an onside kick planned maybe in this where, you know, the fact that there's a lot of energy. You've been talking about it. We just had them over here with the homecoming stuff, and maybe one of those where you can maybe sneak something past them and get them right before they can really get some momentum themselves.
We'll see what the call is here, but Jason also said he thinks there's going to be a kick return for a touchdown, so we'll see if one breaks here as Fabi sends this into the second level, and we're underway as White takes it. And he tries to go right up the middle. Good containment there from the Rams. And Dylan White is brought down. There is a flag down on the backside of the play.
I thought that was the one.
Well, thanks for nothing, Jason.
Well, and they even held on it, looks like, and they still didn't get anything. Blocking the back instead, so that'll push him back. So
now, if there's one thing we know about this Lapwai offense, however, it's that they can get big gains and big chunks and quickly.
That's right, and that's where that defensive line from CV showed up on a number of those plays that kind of got those big plays stopped before they were able to develop.
So 1st and 10, ball's going to be spotted at the 23-yard line for the Wildcats. And the Rams come out with 2 down linemen and then 2 edge rushers off the side. Man-to-man coverage over the top. Shotgun look here for the Wildcats. Hatchback on the right side of the formation. Jones throws it back across the formation, and it's caught. And that's going to be a solid pickup there. That was number 1 for Lapwai. That was Jalisco Miles, and that's a first down.
Yeah, nice job. We haven't really called his name too many times, so that's a target that they can rely on. He had great hands and got that first down.
1st and 10 now for Lapwai. Ball on the 30-yard line, 35-yard line rather. Again, similar formation here, but Jones under center this time, and he turns and hands it off to Herschel Williamson, who busts it open to the second level. Williamson in a foot race with Fabi, and he's brought down inside the 40-yard line.
You know, we talked about how Dylan White had kind of stung him on a couple of those big runs. This time, they go back to old reliable north and south, Herschel Williamson, and he just blasts right through there, and like you said, it was a foot race to the edge.
Herschel Williamson, he's making a case for the Idaho Transportation Department's IdahoSports.com player of the game. 1st and 10 now. Under center is Jones. He's got a hatchback to Dylan White on the right side. They go back to Williamson. Why not? He busts it up the middle, and it's a pickup of about 4.
Yeah, 4 yards in a cloud of dust here. And that's a great positive game. And I think they're kind of setting up, like you had mentioned, one of those big play action pass plays where everybody's heading one way and then the receiver comes back across like they did with Jalisco Miles just a second ago.
2nd and 6 after the run from Williamson. It's been a lightning rod for the team, for the Wildcats thus far tonight. They go right back to him. 3rd time's the charm, but he's cut down quickly. That was number 22. That was Anthony Carter.
Yeah, nice job by Carter. We've called his name a number of times on the defensive line, and he just comes right through there and blasts him, gets him down before he's able to get those legs churning.
It's going to be 3rd and 6. 10:20 to go here in the 3rd quarter. And they fake the handoff. It's a rollout for Jones, who tries to get to the outside, cuts back in, and he's brought down before he can reach the first down marker. But this is 4 down territory.
Yeah, he did kind of.
It is a first.
Well, there you go. Those lanes are maybe a little bit askew, but he hits the brakes and comes back into the formation. I thought maybe he could have easily picked it up by running to the outside and skipped the tackle.
But nonetheless, 1st down Wildcats as they come to the line of scrimmage here. Ball spotted just inside the 25-yard line. Rams showing pressure from the middle linebacker spot. Jones is going to roll to his left. Looking. Squares his shoulders and fires. It's intercepted! Fabi picks it off! And he's spun down just inside the 25-yard line. Louis Fabi making his presence felt on both sides of the field.
Yeah, cool hand Luke over there. And to Ellenwood Jones's credit, that was a nice ball. It just skipped off the receiver's hands and softly landed in Fabi's hands instead. So now CV gets the break that they need, and now they got to get some points out of it because they're down by 2.
Quarterback to quarterback pass on that one, not the one that Jones had intended. But nonetheless, the Rams 1st and 10. Ball spotted at the 27-yard line. I formation look here, trying to take the lead. And Fabi hands it off to Myers, who bounces off a couple of tackles, and he goes down after a pickup of 1 or 2.
Yeah, and we've seen that a number of times. Lapway's right there to greet him, even pat him on the hat, saying, okay, we got you this time, buddy. Is that the first time we've seen a turnover?
That's the first turnover of tonight's game, other than maybe a turnover on downs.
Yes, sir. We saw the fumble, but Fabi was able to pick it back up or at least cover it. So that was the first turnover tonight. So pretty clean game on both offenses.
That indeed, and both offenses have had pretty even amounts of possession here. Under 9 minutes to go here in the 3rd quarter now. I formation look. They go right back to Myers once again, and he's met very quickly once again. So it's going to be 3rd and long here, and the Rams are in danger of not being able to do anything with the turnover.
Excellent job there by Elias Yearout. We've talked about him on the offensive side, special team side. This time he just sneaks right in there from his linebacker spot, reads everything perfectly, avoids all the blockers, and gets him down.
3rd and 10 now. We'll see what the Rams come out with here. It looks like it's going to be another I formation look. Wildcats showing pressure. They know that they could still run it here with Bass Myers.
And you definitely want to get him down before he gets those legs churning. So if you can get some pressure, get in the backfield, and get him tackled before he gets momentum.
Fabi under center. And almost a jump there from the Wildcats. Fabi rolling, looking, fires it over the middle. It's intercepted. That was picked off by number 2 for the Wildcats. That's Marquisio Noriega.
Not very many times in your life. Coach Hutchins is saying, and that's why the camera skipped right there. There looked like it was going to be a flag. Like you had mentioned, it looked like there was somebody who was going to be offsides right there, or illegal motion. If there would have been an offensive play penalty, then that means that play wouldn't have happened. But instead, they ate the flag, and great job by Noriega intercepting the ball right back. So one turnover deserves another, I guess.
So just we're talking about it being a clean game. Now we got back-to-back turnovers. Under 8 minutes to go here in the third quarter, 14-12 in favor of the Wildcats. Wildcats line up under center, and they go to Elias Yearout, who powers his way up the middle, nearly ran over the entire defense, and there's a flag coming in late.
Yeah, I don't know what the flag is, but I like the way that young man just kind of blasted right through the line, simply because of the fact that we just saw him pick his way through the blockers. This time he was able to pick his way through the defenders.
Brought down by number 2, Pickering.
And we'll see what the flag is here. They're pointing at the defense. They're going to say it's a personal foul against Clearwater Valley, and that's going to be another yard. That's going to be some extra yardage here for the Wildcats. We'll see where they spot this. They're going to spot this at the 25-yard line. Under 8 minutes to go, and Jason and I are under attack here in the booth. These bugs, the creatures of the night, I like to call them, are letting us have it. Under center is Jones in kind of this offset I formation as they go back to Elias, who powers forward, and he picks up 5.
Yeah, he's running right over his toes. He's following his shoulder pads, and he's definitely picking up some nice yards here.
Looks like we've got an injury on the field.
And we're going to go ahead and take a short break here, but we'll be right back here on IdahoSports.com.
It's time to elevate your finances. Introducing Ascend Checking, the new free checking account from P1FCU that pays you dividends. Earn 1.45% APY on balances up to $15,000. Plus, get online and mobile banking and mobile deposit with no minimum balance requirements. Level up your finances with Ascend Checking. To open your account, visit p1fcu.org/ascend. P1FCU, a Pacific Northwest original since 1938.
Some days, I choose the most difficult trail. I test my limits.
Taking the hard path isn't always easy, but I know it's the right way.
When I get done with my ride and I look back at what I've just accomplished, I feel amazing.
It takes courage and determination to do hard things.
But you can do them.
Quitting tobacco and vaping is possible.
You decide when. We'll show you how. Learn more at projectfilter.org or call 1-800-QUIT-NOW.
Doesn't look bad. Try zooming in again, just to be safe. Yeah, it doesn't look bad. Although now the bugs are going to come to my laptop. Yeah. Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, here to Kuski, Idaho, as District 2 battle going on. 1A D1. Lapwai Wildcats lead just over 2 points over the Clearwater Valley Rams. 7.5 minutes to go here in the third quarter, and we're back in action. They come out in that unbalanced line here as Jones is under center. Takes the snap, and he hands it to Williamson up the middle, and he's brought down rather quickly after a pickup of 2.
Good hard power running. Both teams have kind of sniffed the other's best run plays up between the tight ends out. So it's one of those where it's going to be tough sledding. I really like getting to the outside here for Lapwai now.
And we'll see if they do just that, as it is 3rd and 1 now, and we'll see what kind of defense the Rams bring here. Wildcats taking their time as we are now under 7 minutes here in the 3rd quarter. Come to the line of scrimmage. Jones under center. White in the backfield, and it looks like they drew the Rams offside, so they don't even have to run anything.
Yeah. Went on 75, or, not on 2. Went on 75, and the defense is ready for it. And unfortunately, they didn't snap the ball, so you get a free, easy first down, and that makes it 1st and goal for the first time, I believe, this half.
1st and goal here. That's right. We had 2 straight turnovers, one from the Rams and one from the Wildcats, back-to-back. But now Lapwai with a chance to punch it in and increase their lead. 6:21 to go. They go to White up the right side. There's a fumble, and the Rams are on top of it. Clearwater Valley bends but doesn't break, and they get the ball back. That's 3 straight turnovers now.
Carson Schilling. And we got an injury on the field.
So late, my goodness, ladies and gentlemen, after Jason and I make the comment, it's been a pretty clean game thus far. We've got 3 straight turnovers just like that.
That's nothing like the old media jinx on that. Hopefully they're not going to kick some field goals, because we talked about how they wouldn't. So, again, both teams, it's not a matter of whether, it's a matter of whether you're grabbing onto the ball as far as offensively and keeping good route quarterback combination there, where we saw Fabby pick off Ellenwood Jones simply because it was kind of a glanced off of the receiver, and then we saw Lapwai get it by Noriega, just kind of getting an errant throw over the middle, and he just able to snag it away. And now we get a defensive put the boom on the running back, and he was able to pop the ball free, and now they bend, don't break down on the goal line, and now we're back into the situation where they're still down by 2 if you're CV, and you have to get the full length of the field if you're hoping to score on this possession.
6:16 to go here in the 3rd quarter, and we had a Lapwai player who's made his way off the field. He's cramping up a little bit, and they're running all over the place, so it's understandable.
At the 9-yard line for the Rams.
So now the Rams will be starting things here inside their 10-yard line. And so they've got 90 yards of green in front of them. Fabby, he's going to hand it off to Myers, who tries to get to the outside. He does, bounces it outside. He's got the first down and more. He's out past the 40. He's gone. Oh, he stepped out of bounds. It looked like he had broken through, but he tricked me.
Well, I will say he must have been tight roping over there, because I thought he was out about 20 or 30 yards in front of that, and he was able to kind of lower the shoulders and stay in bounds and pick up another 20 yards. So nice job. Actually, let's check that, because the ball is back about 10 yards. So either way, he did a nice job of getting to the outside and picking up some healthy yards.
Nonetheless, it was a first down. So 1st and 10, ball on the 31-yard line. Another I formation look here for the Rams. And they go this time to the fullback, the dynamic duo. He's got another first down here. Excellent run from Anthony Carter up the middle.
Yeah, nice job. But all eyes were on Bass Myers. This time they hit him again with Carter. We've seen that a couple of times where they just kind of use him as a misdirection, kind of somebody that you forget about. And he does not just a good run, he had a first down on that
one. So 5.5 minutes to go now and counting, as they have a first down out past the 43-yard line, heading in towards Lapwai territory. And they're fine with the clock rolling. Another I formation look here for the Rams. Wildcats showing pressure on the either side of the line of scrimmage. They're going to bring the defensive ends. Fabi rolls to his left. He's going to keep it. He rolls back all the way across the field. He's still on his feet, but he's brought down, and they're going to go ahead and blow him dead with forward progress. But that was a pickup of 5.
Yeah, I thought he'd kind of been washed out at the line of scrimmage, and he was able to kind of pick his way through the defenders, bounce off, spin off, and again, nice job keeping hold of the ball and making sure that he didn't get stripped on that.
And folks, Oakley has defeated Raft River 34-30. So that was an excellent game there, and check out the highlights on IdahoSports.com. Courtesy of the Friday Night Flash. And hey, I certainly hope our score is updated. 2nd and 5. Right at near midfield. And they hand it back to Carter up the middle, who pushes the pile, and he's got a first down for the Wildcats. And then there's some extracurriculars there, and a flag goes into the air, and that's likely going against the Wildcats. That was against number 1, Jalisco Miles.
And not only is it Carter and Myers on that push, it's also an offensive line. They're just kind of getting hip to hip and just kind of building a wall and just pushing that wall in front of them. And so that's a nice job of the offensive line from CV getting some push. And now it's time for the Lapwai crew over there to kind of get themselves settled down, play a little defense. They've been in this position a number of times as far as bend, don't break. Now they just got to kind of get those cleats in the dirt and come up with some good tackling.
And we'll see what the call is here from the head referee.
Personal foul.
They're going to call that against Clearwater Valley and against Lapwai, so it's going to be offsetting fouls. So it's essentially a whole lot of nothing.
Well, that and a whole lot of warn those kids, because that does go against those kids. So if they stay in some kind of muster like that, then they're going to be further penalized. So at this point, just kind of let the play stand and let's get back to some football.
1st and 10, ball spotted at the 45-yard line in Lapwai territory.
Well, and with all that action, there's a little bit of a referees meeting there. All right,
yep, there we go. All right.
Well, that's why you have those meetings. You don't have the ability of play-by, or I'm sorry,
I'm right
review.
here.
Yeah, play-by-play. You don't have any of the review, so good job by the referees. That's Dan Marsh in the white hat and his crew, just making sure that they're all on the same page, and let's keep it spirited, but let's keep it within the rules.
So 1st and 10, ball on the 45-yard line. I formation look here for the Rams once again. Fabi. He's going to hand it off to Myers, who gets to the left side of the field, far side of your screen, and he's got another pickup of 5, and a flag comes down after the play.
Miles at the left side.
And it looks like a holding on that one. So one of those where it was a nice gain, but it looks like maybe a hold on it. So it's going to look like they're going to be marching back on this one.
It's like a penalty on the play, holding.
So goes against the Rams, and from what was 1st and 10 on the 45, that's now 1st and 15 back to midfield.
It's like there's a...
We're looking at a clock time here. They want to go to 3:40. So.
Well, and yeah, exactly. And it's one of those where with the running clock of a run play and the penalty, how do you reformat that? So it gets to be one of those where let's all get on the same page. Again, the referee's doing a great job. Unsung heroes out here just making sure that everything's within the rules and everybody's on the same script.
3.5 minutes to go here in quarter number 3. 1st and 15, ball at midfield for the Rams on the far hash. And they're going to fake it. It's going to be a play action. Fabi throws it over the top, and it's incomplete. His intended target was for number 3, Carson Schilling, the sophomore wide receiver.
Again, Quentin Kipp, we've called his name a number of times from his defensive end spot. As that tight end leaves past his face, he just pursues to the quarterback, kind of made it so he couldn't step into that throw, and it kind of just sailed wide. And so that power run game from CV's kind of stalled out now at midfield, and we're in second and 16 here, and this is what Lapwai needs to kind of rally behind.
So 2nd and 15, we'll call it. Again, ball still at midfield. Pressure being shown by the Wildcats. Everybody's in the box. They're going to go to Myers, and he gets to the second level, lowers the shoulder, and he's brought down, and he's past the original line of scrimmage. So it's still going to be looking at third down, third and about 8.
Yeah, but that puts them nearer their down and distance. They're back on schedule with that power run. Lapwai making a little bit of a substitution, getting a little bit more beef on the line, making sure they don't get ran over between the tight ends, and they have to go outside or something.
3rd and 8. Ball's on the 44-yard line. Fabi. He's going to fake it. He's looking deep downfield. He's got a corner route. It's Pickering! Touchdown, Rams! Tiago Pickering on the 43-yard touchdown.
Well, excellent play call. Just like the color guy, the camera guy, and the play-by-play, we've kind of been calling Carter and Bass Myers and Fabi, and all of a sudden they just hit him with a little play-action pass and over the top, and that's the exact life they need. And again, they have got to get this 2-point conversion to make it so a touchdown ties it, because right now a touchdown still puts Lapwai up by 4.
So right now it's 18-14 in favor of the Rams. And they're going for the 2. Fabi in the gun. Fabi takes the snap, keeping it himself, trying to get to the outside. He's got an option in the end zone, but he's going to just eat it and take the sack. And once again, Clearwater Valley not able to convert the 2-point conversion. They're 0 of 3 on the night.
And again, that means that with a touchdown, Lapwai is already going to be up by 2. And so it just kind of puts an interesting bind for CV here. So that defense is going to have to rise up. But before that, it brings us back to that kickoff game. And which one of the Lapwai kids are you going to kick to? Because all of them had nice returns.
Yeah, thus far on the night, the names we've been calling are Herschel Williamson, number 4, number 7. We've got Dylan White, Elias Yearout, number 23. All of them have the potential to be barn burners if they get into the open field.
Austin, take a bow.
So set to kick off. Here come the Rams. And the Wildcats will make their way onto the field as well. So, Jason, after 3 straight turnovers, the Rams are able to punch it in finally with a 43-yard touchdown strike from Fabi to Tiago Pickering. What can we expect from Lapwai as they make their way back onto the field with 2 turnovers this half?
Well, I think you're going to see a nice return to start this drive, and then I think they're going to get a little bit creative with their play call, because they've kind of stayed on script a little tighter than I was imagining. I was imagining for them to kind of come out, not necessarily trickeration, but just kind of putting somebody in a different formation to kind of keep CV guessing.
2:26 to go as the Rams are set to kick this off. And Fabi just chips this to White, who takes it at the 40. White trying to find an opening, tries to cut back. Good contain, the ball comes free! Clearwater Valley's got it! That's number 3, Carson Schilling, who was able to come up with it. Dylan White fumbles. That is 3 turnovers for the Wildcats in the 3rd quarter.
Well, and Dylan White had heard me say somebody's going to score, and it looked like he was trying to pick his way through it by himself. And in all that dancing, somebody was able, it sounds like it was Curtis Schilling, was able to poke out the ball, and everybody was able to jump on top of it. So, again, CV's in the hunt for another touchdown.
18-14, and now Clearwater Valley, they're going to start things off here inside their own Lapwai's 40 rather, on the 38-yard line, 1st and 10. I formation look. And they've done a lot with this formation all night. Fabi under center. Takes the snap, hands it up the middle. That's number 22. Anthony Carter.
Ball came out late.
And the ball comes free, and the refs are giving it to Lapwai. That's 2 turnovers for the Rams here in the third quarter. 5 total turnovers in the third quarter.
Yeah, after us saying it was a clean game. Well, and Carter did a nice job. He was picking his way through everybody. And, again, that extra effort kind of cost him the fumble just because of the fact that you kind of are thinking, okay, how can I juke and jive and how do I get out of this situation? And by doing that, Lapwai was right there to poke at the ball, and it came free, and then all of a sudden Lapwai's back in business.
That could be a momentum save right there in tonight's game. Now Lapwai, they take over. Ball spotted at the 34-yard line. Jones throws it over the top, corner out to Dylan White. It's incomplete. It's going to be 2nd and 10.
Incomplete. 2nd down.
Unbelievable third quarter, Jason.
Yeah,
just 5 turnovers, a touchdown for the Rams, and now Lapwai, they're trying to go down and take the lead.
It's going to be tough to pick the player of the game, but we do know this is the best game on Friday Night Flash.
That's right. I don't care what anybody else says. You could make the argument for Oakley and Raft River, but
Coeur d'Alene 140 over Lakeland 10.
I'm curious to know what the actual score of that is right now. 2nd and 10 after the incompletion. Dylan White, the intended target on the previous throw. 2 down linemen for the Rams. They bring him. Jones rolling right. He's good containment. And it's over to Dylan White. He's open, and he's got the sideline, but he's being pursued by Tiago Pickering and brought down at the 35-yard line, but nonetheless a first down for the Wildcats.
Excellent play call. Ellenwood Jones back there at quarterback for Lapwai just kind of rolls out, sells it, gets his feet set, throws back across the field. Nice job. And now Lapwai's back in business, getting that confidence built up again. And, again, just chip away at this possession. You don't have to do it all in one strike.
1st and 10. Ball's on the 36-yard line. Lapwai comes in with an unbalanced formation here. Jones under center, takes the snap. He hands it off to number 3 for Lapwai. That is, we haven't called his name often, that's Joseph Whitefoot, the freshman.
Pickup of about 3.
Well, nice job by that young man, getting some game experience, and then he inside, then pretty soon he might break it to the outside and head for the sticks.
It's going to be 1 minute to go here in the third quarter. Jones once again under center, takes the snap, fakes it to Whitefoot and keeps it himself. He tries to wrap around the other direction, but he's brought down before he can get to the first down marker, or it looks like he might be past it. That's a first down.
I think he was hit before the first down and then fell forward to pick it up.
So 1st and 10, just like that for the Wildcats, and the clock will stop at the 54 mark, and now it's running again. And Clearwater Valley hoping for a 4th turnover
1st and 10,
if they can bend and not break here. Ball spotted inside the 25. They bounce this out to the outside, and they're not able to get past any further than that. That was number 6 for Lapwai. Maybe it was number 9, Terrell Ellenwood Jones. Nope, that looked like number 6, Julian Barrows. There we go. There you go, Julian. Good carry, the sophomore wide receiver.
Yeah, and he was heading for the out of bounds, just trying to get that play stretched as far as you could. All right, now it's going to be conditioning time. It's fourth quarter, just like we talked about earlier. Who's done the work this summer to be in this moment?
Folks, we've played 3. Our score in this one, Clearwater Valley 18, Lapwai 14. We'll be right back after these short messages.
Some days, I choose the most difficult trail. I test my limits.
Taking the hard path isn't always easy, but I know it's the right way.
When I get done with my ride and I look back at what I've just accomplished, I feel amazing.
It takes courage and determination to do hard things.
But you can do them.
Quitting tobacco and vaping is possible.
You decide when. We'll show you how. Learn more at projectfilter.org or call 1-800-QUIT-NOW.
Listen to the game live from anywhere on IdahoSports.com.
Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to Kuski, Idaho, here in District 2. We've got a barn burner here. Clearwater Valley leads 18-14 over the Lapwai Wildcats. A game that could have big-time season implications for both teams, depending on who comes out on top of this one. Lapwai in the red zone. They're inside the 25-yard line. It's 2nd and 8, and they're going to roll out to the right side. That's Jones. Jones trying to get to the sideline. Lofts it to the end zone. That one's caught! Touchdown, Lapwai! Dylan White comes down with his 2nd score of the night.
And there was defense all over the place on that, but he just jumped up there, high-pointed the ball right after the quarter break. Coach Layton's got to be happy with that one. That was great execution.
Dylan White makes up for the fumble and punches it in for 6. Now Lapwai, they've converted a couple of times on the 2-point conversions. They're hoping for another one here.
Going to line up for 2.
Big momentum shifts on the night, and they come out in a unique formation here. This is something out of Logos. Got players on the far side of the field on either side. And that's Jones in the backfield. He keeps it himself. He's just going to run it in. He's got it.
2-point conversion.
The 2-point conversion from Terrell Ellenwood Jones is good. And that increases the cushion for the Wildcats.
Yeah, and that's that savvy we talked about pregame, going back to the touchdown, just like you said. He runs out there, kind of has the play develop, lets the receiver get open, get himself both feet on the ground, lets it go, has a calmness about it to make sure that he doesn't run out of bounds. He's not in a panic, has good feet, puts the ball up high, and then has the wherewithal to go ahead and count his eligible receivers. Where's the defense? Where's the defense not? Oh, okay. Well, I'll just run it out to the right side, the short side of the field, and touchdown me or extra point me. And those things are adding up now. So that means that Lapwai's up by 4 with that score. So, again, CV has been able to match touchdowns, but it's those pesky extra points that they're falling behind by.
22-18 the score, 11:51. So that took 9 seconds off the clock there in the 4th quarter, and the Wildcats punched it into the end zone. That was a 20-yard strike to Dylan White, who he wants to get his name in there for the IdahoSports.com Player of the Game, brought to you by the Idaho Transportation Department.
And we're back to the kickoff. Who are you going to kick to? We have all kinds of playmakers back there for CV.
We've got number 2, Tiago Pickering, who has a 43-yard touchdown reception, so he's got the burners. And then you've also got Bass Myers and number 3, Carson Schilling.
And if Leland Whitefoot drops this in the end zone for a touchback, he might be the player of the game.
You never know. Let's see what he does here. He sends this into the Kuski night sky. It's not going to be a touchback, but it's going to be taken inside the 10 by Pickering. He picks it up. He tries to get to the sideline. He's at the 20. He's at the 30, and he's dragged out of bounds. Big hit out of bounds there. And Pickering gets it out past the 30, maybe close to the 35-yard line, and that's where the Rams will start this drive.
Well, and again, that just shows the prowess of that return game. It looked like they were going to get him corralled at the 10, and all of a sudden the blockers were set up and off they ran. I'm not sure if that's a penalty over on the sideline or that was just a ball spotting that they were talking about. Because the ball was on the ground, but the white hat is over there talking to the chain crew.
There was a Clearwater Valley Ram who came sprinting in towards the end of that play and laid the lumber on a Wildcat. That could be what the discussion's about, and there's a flag that just came out now. And my guess is that is against the Wildcats coaching staff.
It's a sideline warning, and so got to make sure you stay back. Coach Layton over there is probably employing Dan Marsh and the boys to be careful with some of that extra stuff, but the energy's high here as it's homecoming night and the Rams have the ball.
I formation for the Rams. They fake it to Myers. They're looking deep. It's a post route to Schilling. It's caught! Schilling out past the 30-yard line. What a strike from Fabi to Schilling.
Yeah, Fabi, he's also now showing some prowess over there. We've seen him run for a touchdown. We've seen him do all kinds of things on defense. And now he just has the wherewithal to get the ball to his receiver that also has been forgotten. We talked about Pickering being forgotten. Well, this cat, he hasn't even hardly been mentioned at all. Number 3, Carson Schilling. And he picks up maybe the most important big play of the night.
1st and 10 now, ball inside the 25. Fabi hands it right up the middle. That's number 22 for the Rams, Anthony Carter. Not able to get much there. Good tackle there from Herschel Williamson.
Well, and all those running backs now, I bet, are just thinking, I got to squeeze this ball because we've seen so many come out.
10:50 to go here and counting in the 4th quarter. Rams hoping to go on top and then maybe convert a 2-point conversion while they're at it. 2nd and 6. I formation look. Pressure being shown from the Wildcats. They are all up in the box. And both sides jump, and that usually means it's going against the offense.
Yeah, of course the offense is going to be pointing at the defense like, no, he was yelling something. But it's really one of those where, yeah, generally that is a penalty for the offense.
So the officials are gathering and discussing. And here's the call. And they're going to call offsides on the Wildcats, so that's a 5-yard penalty.
Well, he may have been lined up offsides just by his positioning, which would have, any movement would have looked like he was in his grill. So
2nd and 1 after the penalty. High formation look. Wildcats showing pressure. Fabi takes the snap. He hands it to Myers. Myers has a blocker on the left side. He lowers the shoulder and the head. A little dangerous there. And he looks like he's got the first down. Jalisco Miles with the stop.
Well, one of those, again, they go back to that trap power pull play to make it so they can pick up that hard charge and first down. It's a little bit slow developing, which, again, gets those defenders out there. But it's definitely one of those where it allows him to get a whole head of steam and off he runs.
And folks, we want to remind you, make the memories last a lifetime by owning the digital game file of this game for just $9.95 or a gallon of gas. Just click the button in the top right to order. And folks, follow IdahoSports.com on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram. Get updates, breaking news, pictures, and more. Our great game coverage like this of a hotly contested game here in District 2. Click the icons in the top left to follow us now. And our army of Idaho Sports action photographers are covering games all over the state. We've revamped our galleries to make it even easier to find and order your favorite action shots. Just go to IdahoSports.com and click the action photos link in the menu.
You happen to see Ray Martinez and Anthony Fabi. Congratulate them on
They've kind of whittled that Lakeland Coeur d'Alene score back down to 14-10.
Okay.
You had mentioned it was 14-13. But, 140 seems a little unbelievable, but you never know.
You never know. That's right.
Times are changing.
So, it was 14-13 the last text I got. That said Coeur d'Alene leads at half. So some excellent action there. Again, we mentioned earlier, Oakley defeats Raft River. 2 powerful programs, 34-30.
How about this
Mountain
score?
View defeats Bora 37-7. Go ahead, Jason.
Kellogg 22. We've seen them play against Moscow. Chewed them up with the Luna brothers. And St. Mary's 21. So 22-21 fourth quarter. So St. Mary's at home putting on quite a show and saying that they too can play in the 2A ranks.
My goodness. 22-18. Lapwai leads, hanging on to a lead with 10:20 to go in the fourth quarter. 1st and 10. I formation from the Rams. Fabi takes the snap, hands it off to Myers. Myers looking for a hold, lowers the shoulder, but a good form tackle there from the Wildcats. That was number 4, Herschel Williamson. It's easy for him to get low. He's kind of already there, but nonetheless a great tackle.
Yeah, quite the ankle biter, and that's good because that way Bass Myers doesn't get his momentum going, and so this is going to be an important stand for them.
The clock ticks under 10 minutes now, and the Rams come to the line. Wildcats spread out, but this could mean an opening here for the Rams attack, and that looks like a false start. And this time I don't think it's against the Wildcats.
Yeah, and this is the kind of stuff that Lapwai did last time where that defense just gets kind of savvy there and they bend, don't break, and they get their backs pushed up against the wall and off they go. So maybe they can do something with this 2nd and long.
It's going to be 2nd and 13 after the penalty. 5-yard penalty, the false start off the offensive lineman for the Rams. And the clock goes back to ticking. Again, the Wildcats spread out from side to side. Containment is going to be key here. And this is a pass play, 2 deep receivers. It's a corner route, and it's batted away. Great coverage there from the Wildcats. Trying to get a number on that. Nonetheless, that looked like it was batted away in the corner, and the intended target for the Rams, was number 42, Lincoln Barger.
Yeah, we haven't called Barger's name too many times, but that was a great route and almost had his hands on it. How about the center from CV, Austin Curtis down there, just pointing guys out, okay, you block this guy, you block that guy. So not only is the quarterback been here for 3 years as the leader, here comes Curtis as the quarterback of the O-line as well.
Fabi alone in the gun. Man-to-man coverage on the outside. Myers goes in motion. It could be a sweep. He gets it, and he fakes the outside sweep. Myers keeps it. He tries to get to the outside. He's got it, and it looks like he's got a touchdown.
Wow, a little bit of a slow developing reverse. It was one of those where he kind of ran back in the formation, and he got the ball from the quarterback, and he just kind of tucked himself in the line, and he kind of motioned like he was going to give for the double reverse, and then all of a sudden that means that off you go for the touchdown right there by that young man. That was awesome. Great play call.
Bass Myers punches it in to the end zone. And now a 2-point conversion here. They want to take a 4-point lead, the Rams that is, but they have yet to convert the 2-point conversion on the night. They go right up the middle. And this one's in. When it matters most, the Rams capitalize, and they go up by 4.
And again, they give it to Mr. North and South, Anthony Carter, the fullback, just powers his way through. Nothing fancy about that one. You just mentioned the Bass Myers kind of gone around the outside. This time they just take it north-south and get where they haven't been on an extra point, which allows them to get a little bit more cushion as well.
My goodness, so some second half fireworks are upon us. 26-22, the score here in Kuski. And Jason, that third quarter had everything. That had 5 turnovers. It had a touchdown apiece for both teams. And now we're starting to see some blows exchanged here as we come around the final corner.
That's right. Nothing's going to inspire you more like a little Michael Jackson here up here in the booth. And off they go. It's going to be one of these going right back to the house. I've already called it once. It's going to be called again. And so it's one of those where, again, that return game from Lapwai, everybody's got to get a block and make sure you squeeze that ball because we've seen too many balls on the ground as far as balls getting poked away.
26-22. 9 minutes to go here in the fourth. And maybe this is the time for the kick return here. We've got Elias Year out deep. We've got Herschel Williamson as well as number 2. We haven't called this gentleman's name much. Marquisio Noriega has got such a cool name. I mean,
yeah.
And actually back deep to receive is Terrell Ellenwood Jones, the quarterback and receiver combo. And this one's going to be taken by Noriega. He tries to get to the outside. Good containment, and he's brought down at the 44-yard line, and that's where the Wildcats will take over.
Yeah, like you said, he's just going to grab that ball and get a good squeeze, and off they run. Now they're almost in midfield on their first down.
It's going to be 1st and 10 now. Ball spotted at the 44-yard line. The Wildcats will likely come out in that unbalanced formation. We've seen Ellenwood, we've seen Jones under center a lot with this formation, which allows Dylan White to leak out of the backfield. He's had a couple of scores today, including a big 20-yard strike on the last drive.
Formation change. Everybody's spread out this time.
That is number 5, Quentin Kipp, on the near side going deep. And they're going to throw this towards That was number 4, Herschel Williamson. It's incomplete, out of bounds.
Had 4 defensive linemen from CV in the backfield and only 3 blockers standing there going, hey, I thought you had that guy. So, again, that pass rush, great job by the defense. Everybody got matched up and guarding their person. Didn't really give Ellenwood Jones anywhere to throw it.
8:45 to go here in the 4th. It's going to be 2nd and 10 after the incompletion. CV at defensive front looks fresh and ready to go. Rearing for it. And here come the Wildcats. We'll see what formation they take here. You've got number 5, Quentin Kipp, on the near side of your screen there. And on the far side, another wide receiver. 2 backs in the backfield. Jones, he's going to reverse and roll to his left. He's got nothing in front of him but Rams. He has to get rid of it. Incomplete. And you're looking at 3rd and 10 now. And the Wildcats just haven't looked comfortable on this drive, and you got to give credit to that Rams front.
Well, and that front has gotten a little savvier. We saw him do something similar where he'd roll out and then get depth, and that allowed him to throw it, kind of like the old Russell Wilson, if you're a Seahawks fan, now maybe Denver Broncos. But it's one of those where now the defensive line is keeping him contained and forcing him backwards and backwards instead of giving him somewhere to run. So nice job by that defensive front from CV.
3rd and 10, a potential big stop here for the Rams. Jones takes the snap, being pressured immediately. He's got to bring it down, and he's going to get sacked and suplexed.
Quarterback sack, number 12.
I'm kind of surprised the flag hasn't come in for that, but nonetheless, that is a sack by number 12, Bass Myers.
Yeah, and it was one of those where Ellenwood Jones was thinking, do I throw it? What do I do with it? He keeps the ball. The ball did come out, but he was already on the ground. Maybe after the suplex, Coach Slayton is thinking, okay, we got to dial something up here. We got something probably for this situation. Maybe keep him off balance with something, or maybe they're going to punt it away and play a little defense.
So, Jason, with the kind of pressure that Clearwater Valley is getting on the Jones in the backfield, what are some plays that maybe Lapwai should be considering dialing up in order to counteract that?
You know, you had mentioned that Dylan White would have been able to get deep or get shallow depending on what they were looking for. You could probably hit him with a screen because the fact that everybody is all matched up and all of the defensive backs have kind of run away from the line of scrimmage to make sure they're back in coverage. I think you could probably get them with kind of something leaking out a little bit with just kind of a delay screen. Is there a flag?
There is a flag. As we were discussing, Jason, it looks as though the Lapwai coaching staff was given the business to the officials, and now that's a 15-yard penalty. So forget what we were just talking about.
25.
Unless that was just another warning. Nope, they are backing that ball up.
Let's make some noise for our Rams.
So it is 4th and 25.
Well, there's still 8 minutes left, and so it may feel like you have to do something on this possession, but there's really still plenty of time to do something on the next one. You just had to play a lot of defense.
And they're going to send this one into the night sky. Nobody back to receive, but it takes a Rams bounce, and that's going to come to rest at the 45-yard line. And I see what you're doing there, Mr. Noriega, but that's not allowed. And they're going to correct this spot here and move it to the 45.
Yeah, there was.
Looks like they'll spot it here by the 45.
Oh, yeah. Because otherwise everybody would do that.
That's just gamesmanship, you know, just checking.
Yeah. Well, that's also where a sneaky player could run up there and grab that ball. It's already been touched by the defense. The worst thing you get is that spot. And so now the CV Rams are back on offense.
1st and 10, ball on the 45. And they go right up the middle to Carter. And he is upended and brought down pretty quickly, so he's able to pick up maybe 3 yards.
And there's that defensive front from the Lapwai this time. That would be Williamson coming up from his linebacker spot. And then we also saw Lightfoot,
number
65, kicker / defensive lineman making a tackle as well. So that defense is starting to show up again for Lapwai, which is what they need. they got to get the ball back because they're down by 4.
7.5 minutes to go and counting. And they hand it off here to Myers. He's trying to find a hole. He goes to the far side of the field, and he pushes off, but he's brought down 3 yards short of the first down marker, so he's able to pick up 6 there.
Incredible job right there by Jay-Sean Sherman, number 31, the defensive end on our side. He just blew up that block and forced him to run back through the line of scrimmage and all of those players. He almost made it to the first down anyway, but that was a great job, great effort by Sherman.
3rd and 3. Pressure being shown from the Wildcats. And they hand it off to Myers, who tries to get to the second level and does, lowers the shoulder. He's got the first down.
Brought down by number 2, Williamson. No flag, Brown.
Again, great job by him, but you got to make sure, young man, you're squeezing that ball because the defense is going to get frantic here in a minute and make sure that they rip on that thing.
6.5 minutes to go. Another minute rolls off the clock now, and the Rams, they're comfortable with this tempo. And that's number 2, Tiago Pickering, coming off the field here.
Well, and Coach Hutchins from CV's got to like how his guys have poise. They're just relaxed. They know what they're doing, making sure everybody's on the same page as they head up to the line of scrimmage.
1st and 10 now, ball on the 42. And they're going to do a reverse here with Fabi. He tries to get to the outside, but good containment. And he does get to the outside, stays in bounds, and he's brought down past the first down marker.
A nice bootleg call, gets himself to the outside, but he also has the presence of mind to work himself back to the middle of the field instead of getting pushed out and stopping the clock. So once the chains are set, he's going to chew up another 25, 30 seconds.
And the clock's still rolling here. But nonetheless, we're heading towards another minute off the clock here. That's 2 minutes in the last almost 3 plays. And the Rams just watching the clock tick away. And all the Wildcats can do is watch at this point. Fabi takes the snap. They go up the middle with Carter. Carter lowers the shoulder and drives the legs and pushes forward. And that's a pickup of 6 or 7.
And again, nice job by the center, Austin Curtis, also bulldozing his way to kind of make sure his guy is getting a couple yards before he gets touched.
5 minutes to go here. I formation look.
Boy, talk about some gamemanship, just being able to be heads up with the clock, knowing what you want to do as far as letting it run.
As we now head to 4.5 minutes, they take the snap. There's a fumble! Let's see who's got it. It looks like the Wildcats have gotten it. Unbelievable. What a recovery from, that's Herschel Williamson, who was able to come up with the ball, and now the Wildcats are back in business.
Well, and Bass Myers is upset with himself because he was thinking about lowering the boom on some defenders, but he forgot to squeeze the ball. But that young man may come back on defense and get the ball himself. So this puts Lapwai back and the driver's seat. They're down by 4, 4:33 left in the game, but they got to get some chunks of offense here, get some yards with this possession.
3 turnovers apiece for each team in the second half. And Jones, he's dropped back 10 to 20 yards, fires it over the top. Is that intercepted? It's incomplete. The official says he was out of bounds. That could have been 7 total turnovers here in the second half.
Great effort by Owen with Jones again, getting himself a little depth so that way he can get those shoulders turned to throw it. Putting a little pickle on the cameraman to try and get the receivers, get the sack, potential sack. What's going to happen here?
We got timeout, Wildcats.
And we have a Wildcats timeout. Unbelievable. And the Wildcats are looking at a second down as we want to say again, a last thank you to some of our sponsors here. The professional sales staff at Perfection Tire in Kamei is eagerly waiting to provide you with incredible service and the latest automotive products available. Perfection Tire can take care of all your tire needs and more, including brakes, shocks, struts, tune-ups, oil changes, alignments, and more. If nothing is wrong with your car or truck now, bring it in, and we will help keep it that way with our 30, 60, 90 preventative maintenance program. Stop in and see Dallas or Jerry at Perfection Tire in Kamei at 107 East 3rd Street. You can also give them a call at 208-935-2999 or go online at www.perfectiontire.com. Perfection Tire proudly supports Clearwater Valley Athletics. So now the Rams have to dig deep here because even though Lapwai is a little bit speedier on offense, they also have the ability to run the clock.
2nd and 10 for Wildcats.
That's right. And Lapwai has to make sure they all get on the same page and then run exactly what they're looking for. It seems like there's been a little bit of miscommunication. Now they're back in their spread offense. Everybody's spread out. Kind of puts a lot of pressure on those DBs now.
3 receivers here for Jones. He takes the snap. He's going to keep it himself. Rather, he had to. And he's able to pick up a gain of 5. Good presence in the pocket.
Yep. Picks up a nice little chunk right there. Makes it third much more manageable. They come back to the same formation. Look for maybe if it breaks down, he'll do the same thing.
And it's a post route over the top, and it's incomplete. Noriega was the intended target, and that was number 21 for Clearwater Valley. That was, where's the number? That was Keegan Robeson on the coverage.
Well, and I think Noriega was open early, but the ball showed up late. So what that means is he was, the defense was able to come back and cover, poke the ball away.
He's up.
Great stand by the defense. Offense was close, but great stand by the defense. This means it's 4th down and short, and you're under 4 minutes. So you can't let, if you give the ball back to him with this punt, you can't let him chew up a whole bunch of clock and not get you the ball back.
4th and 3. 3:56 to go in the fourth quarter, 26-22 in favor of the Rams. Shotgun look here for the Wildcats. 3 receivers in the set. Jones back to pass. Good containment there from Myers. Myers giving chase. It brings him down from behind. They call it a sack. They call it an incomplete pass, rather. They said Jones got rid of it.
Incomplete pass.
Well, either way, it'll be a turnover on downs. And that's Bass Myers coming back to make a play. Of course, his defensive lineman with him, Isaac Goodwin, showing some emotion and kind of beating him up there. Looked like he was
easy. I still got a game to play
here. Getting charged with assault out here. All right, here we go.
1st and 10 after the turnover on downs. Rams, this is their chance to ice the game. They give it to Carter up the middle, who lowers the shoulder, and he's brought down after a pickup of 5. And boy, the physicality of the Rams is starting to lay heavy on the Wildcats.
Yeah, and it's definitely one of those where those running backs are coming in low, and they know now, after Hutchins has been telling them, you got to squeeze the ball. You can't afford another turnover. You can't give Lapwai another shot.
Under 3.5 to go now. Clock still ticking. 2nd and 7. Wildcats are set to bring it all. Fabi under center. Takes the snap. And immediately a defensive tackle from the Wildcats is there. And that looks like that was number 59, Larici George Smith.
Yeah, nice job by Ricky just coming in and like we had mentioned, almost causing a fumble just by being there with that quick tackle.
So Larici George Smith with the tackle. And now that's going to be 3rd and 8 after the stop. So still, Wildcats here could force a big turnover on downs. Under 3 minutes to go now.
Yeah, they're going to have to be super efficient. The energy and the crowd's kind of getting them, but they're on offense, so Peyton Manning would be telling them to quiet down.
Offense is at work. Fabi takes the snap. He's got a receiver running deep. He's also got his legs. Tries to get to the outside. Stays in bounds. Touchdown! We'll see what the call is here. They call it 6. Louis Fabi does it again.
Well, and again, I was just going to commend him on just staying in bounds to let that clock run, and instead he just went ahead and tight roped and jumped over a couple defenders, got himself in there for a little bit of a make a play kind of quarterback rollout, and all of a sudden now they got a little bit of a lead gained here, up by 10, but you still want that 2-score situation. Of course, it's 2 scores now, but 2 touchdowns at least. And you, Hutchins' standpoint, you got to get the extra points. You've got to build on that in order to be a better playoff team.
For the 2-point conversion, they go right up the middle, and it's good. Carter punches it in, and the Rams increase their lead to 12, and they've converted the last 2 2-point conversions. What an unbelievable turn of events here in the second half.
Yeah, without a doubt, but I'm pretty convinced we haven't seen the last turn yet. I think Lapwai's probably got some fight still left in him, and thinking, okay, well, now we get to air it out and go ahead and gunsling it like we kind of thought from the very beginning.
Well, 34-22, and we're going to need to see some offense here from the Wildcats, and quickly, especially from the likes of quarterback Jones, Terrell Ellenwood Jones. He's got to get it going here and lead this offense quickly down the field with 2 minutes and 23 seconds to go. And we've seen the likes of Dylan White with 2 scores through in the game today. Herschel Williamson has also got in on the action. We haven't seen a lot of Elias Year out here in the second half.
No, maybe it's about time for him to spring into action. We've seen some direct snaps to him, but definitely one of those where, like we said, there's a lot of playmakers out there, and we're still looking for that touchdown on a return, which might change things quickly.
So set to kick things off here for the Rams is number 23. That's going to be Josh Gardner, defensive lineman and offensive lineman, a sophomore. And Gardner knocks this straight down the middle to Jones, lets it go between his legs, got to pick it up, and now he's looking for a hole. He's dancing around, not able to find anything. Tries to get to the outside, can't do it. And he is brought down by a swarm of Rams. And they're going to start things off inside the 25.
Yeah, nice job by contain again. We had mentioned it during the offensive plays. They're doing a better job when CV's on defense, keeping him contained. This time they did it right there on the kickoff return.
Yeah, I don't think people realize how important containment is in 8-man football, and the Rams have just done the better job of it. Granted, it's hard to keep track of little old Louis Fabi out there when he's running around and tight roping down the sideline. 2 minutes and 9 seconds for the Wildcats to get something going here. Crowd on their feet. Jones throws it, go route over the top, and it's incomplete, but there's a flag down. That could have been pass interference. We'll see what the call is here.
Well, and again, for those of you watching on Saturdays and Sundays, this isn't a spot placement that you only really go back to the line of scrimmage and move it from there.
So if this is indeed pass interference, we're looking at a 15-yard penalty. And it is pass interference.
Which would still be a nice chunk gain for Lapwai, but you are down 2 scores with 2:02 left. So 15 yards at a time is barely enough to put you in a position where you want to be.
15 yards and an automatic first down, Wildcats.
So first fresh set of downs here for the Wildcats. 2:02 to go. Crowd making some noise here. Jones back to pass. Has a clean pocket. Throws it over the top. And it's incomplete. Once again, the intended target was Noriega. And there's a flag down, and it looks like it's holding against the Wildcats. But they still have a net gain of 5 yards.
Yeah. 10-yard penalty, first and 20.
First and 20 will be the yards to gain here after the call.
Garrison, I was just going to say that it was about time for that defensive line from CV to show up again, which we've been highlighting from time to time, saying, hey, let's remember us as for the player of the game, because they're changing the course of this game on every snap.
1:55 to go here as they spot it. Ball's going to be spot inside the 30-yard line, the 25-yard line. And now we've got a timeout from the Wildcats, but Jason, they might need those timeouts here shortly.
Yeah, I think it's time to really dig into that bag of tricks and see if you can't do something. But you're right. But if you don't do something on this possession right away, the second possession isn't going to be worth anything.
So 1:55 to go here. Jason, something has really seemed to change here and click with the defense of these Rams. What are you seeing from a coach's perspective? That's, my goodness, they're just playing with their hair on fire right now.
They are, and I think Coach Hutchins has got to be happy about the fact that CV has come together. All 8 guys are all excited at the same time coming up. They've made mistakes, and each other has picked each other up and said, don't worry about the fumbles or whatever, Bassmeyer, we got your back. And then all of a sudden, Bassmeyer's out there making tackles and sacks and all of that jazz. So I think it's one of those where they have kind of forced Lapwai to be much more one-dimensional and really done a better job as the game progressed on keeping Ellenwood Jones contained so he can't burn him on the outsides.
So it's a long first down conversion mark here. First and 25.
Because we've really only seen Lapwai. Lapwai just put the ball in the air the last 3 or 4 possessions.
Ball's on the ground there, but I'm guessing that was a false start.
Ball recovered by number 12.
In which case it's going to be first and 30.
False start offense.
Just a tough break after tough break for Lapwai. Just seeing some laps and focus here. A tough position to be in for sure.
Yeah. But it also shows the improvements from last year to this year by both teams. Lapwai is shaking off that early rough start against Kamei in the season, and now they're right in the thick of this game. And then CV building off of what strengths they had last year to maybe getting this one in the win column.
And a throw to the far side of the field. That was towards number 5 for Lapwai. That was Quentin Kipp. It's incomplete. So that's going to bring up 2nd and 30. Still second and 30 here. 1:49 to go here in the fourth quarter.
30-something.
And we've got 2 down linemen from the Rams, and they're bringing 4. Jones, he's got to roll to his left. He's going to keep it himself. Gets to the second level, but then he's hammered from behind. That is from number 22, Anthony Carter. He's had a productive day today.
Yeah, both sides of the ball, and got a couple of those all-important extra points. They picked up a huge chunk of this yardage they needed.
Ball is dropped. Jones has to get rid of it to the far side. Looks like it was caught, but it's incomplete, out of bounds. So that's going to bring up 4th and long.
4th and 15.
4th and 15, a tough spot to be with 1:19 left in the game.
I think Lapwai's out of timeouts, so now you just got to kind of go with what they've been working on. And again, you got to keep the ball alive here. You got to get a first down. That's the priority here. A score would be great, but you got to get a first down and just keep this drive alive.
4th and 15. This is their last shot here for Lapwai. A deep shot over the top to Dylan White, and it's incomplete. It looks like he lost it in the stadium lights here. And that was the home run shot from the Wildcats, and that's going to do it for them.
That was the right call. He was open, but just the execution wasn't there. There were 3 defenders on him to give them a shout out, but and it could have been some of that defensive line pressure, which we've talked about. As we talked about David Davis and a couple of those dudes up there, Carson Schilling doing work as far as and maybe Isaac Goodwin doing the job to keep Ellenwood Jones a little unsettled when he tries to release that ball.
1:13 left in the game, and they're just going to run the clock out here as they go right up the middle to Carter. And he lowers the shoulder, and he's brought down at the second level, pick up a 5. And now the Rams can comfortably watch the clock tick away. And they'll have to run it again here.
Yeah, it could either be a run up the middle, just chew up a couple more seconds, or it could be every offense's favorite
victory
play.
Formation. So, Jason, looking ahead, this is a huge win for Clearwater Valley as we look forward into the rest of the White Pine season. For Lapwai, this is kind of a tough defeat here, as this now drops them to the lower half of the conference.
Yeah, it doesn't necessarily exclude them from anything. It just means that they're going to be definitely uphill, and they still have Prairie and Potlatch to go as far as their season is tough teams.
And with that knee. Wow.
And, folks, with that kneel down, the Clearwater Valley Rams pick up a big White Pine League win, 34-22 on their home field here in Kuski, Idaho. And, man, that's got to mean a lot there for Coach Hutchins and his team.
Yeah, as you mentioned, it puts them in the tie for first place now for the conference standings, and they will have Kamiai next, and that's a tough task, but that also means that they're locking horns with the number 1. So that bodes well for them, and then they take on Prairie a little bit later. Potlatch is still in the thick of it as well, and so they're going to be being able to drive where they want to go.
Indeed. So, ladies and gentlemen, the final score, 34-22. Jason and I are going to take a quick break here while we decide our Idaho Transportation Department, IdahoSports.com player of the game. We'll be right back after these messages.
You can't make summer stand still, so make the most of every last second with a new Toyota at Toyota's National Sales Event.
During Toyota's National Sales Event, discover our wide variety of fuel-efficient electrified vehicles. Toyota, let's go places.
Yeah, that's perfect. Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to IdahoSports.com, coming to you live from District 2 in Kuski, Idaho, as the Clearwater Valley Rams just defeated the Lapwai Wildcats 34-22 in a well-fought game. And now, as is custom, we got to talk about our IdahoSports.com player of the game, Jason. And, man, we had a lot of good options from both teams. If you want, you can focus on Lapwai for a bit. You can talk about Clearwater Valley, some of the other players there. What are your thoughts?
Yeah, I would say that there was a number of great candidates for this, as well as, this was an incredible game. This was the reason why we drove for 2 hours to get up here. Ellenwood Jones, for quarterback from Lapwai, what a great job he did managing the game. Even there at the end, it looked like it could have easily been over. He's still trying to make a play. Elias Yearout did a nice job at the receiver, the defensive spot. And then Quentin Kipp, his name showed up a number of times on defense, offense, and special teams as well. And on the other side with CV, you always got to go with the running backs, Bass Meyer and Anthony Carter, just some power run games. And then you got to give a shout out to that offensive line of Austin Curtis, Leighton Davis, and Isaac Goodwin. But of course, the quarterback always gets all of the credit.
That's right, ladies and gentlemen. Our Idaho Transportation Department, IdahoSports.com player of the game is the Clearwater Valley Rams quarterback, Louis Fabi. Jason, he was just all over the field tonight. He threw the ball. He had a deep 43-yard connection with Tiago Pickering over the top to give the Rams the lead here in the second half. but he also did it with his legs too. 2 touchdowns on the ground, one from 20 yards and then one from a little bit closer around that range. But he also intercepted a pass.
Yeah, an 8-man we talk about all the time. You have to play offense and defense, and I think he might have snuck out there a couple times for special teams. So he had a great, well-rounded game, and he's got to be somebody that Coach Hutchins is thinking is going to be able to build around as the season progresses. They have a tough sledding game next week when they take on Camia. We've seen them already, and that's going to be a heck of a battle. And then Lapwai will be taking on Logos.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, that's going to do it here as Clearwater Valley moves to 3-1 on the season, 2-0 in the conference. They're tied for first. Lapwai falls to 1-2 on the season, 0-2 in the conference. For Jason Hansen, I'm Garrison Hardy. So long, everybody. Thanks for tuning in, and we'll see you next time.
This has been a presentation of IdahoSports.com GameStreams. This broadcast is copyrighted to IdahoSports.com.